All right, welcome to another edition of the BS sessions with Mark, me, Jerry, and Charles. Charles is on sabbatical today because he don't like Rush. I don't know. He said he had to work, so I'm just saying. But Jerry, man, what do we got going on tonight, man?
Well, we got the two original OGs of the show doing it tonight alone, man, just like the old times, man. Yeah, a lot of memories with just me and you, man, but it's been even better with Charles too. So,
Yeah, it has.
but well, we're doing what everybody's favorite Rush album would be, 11-song Rush album. This is going to be very interesting, I think, because you guys are like monster deep divers in the Rush, and I admit I'm fair weather Rush fan. I know the hits. I know a few deep songs. Don't get me wrong.
You're like
man,
me with Kiss.
Okay, no,
I like a lot. I like a lot of Kiss. I like a lot of Kiss. I like all the 70s stuff.
I know some deep Rush, but we'll see about that.
Listen, anyway, at least Jerry, at least I can expect Jerry not to blaspheme Rush like you did with Kiss, talking shit about an Ace song. What are you thinking, Mark? Christ.
Oh, whatever.
Anyway,
I don't like the Elder. Man. Even Ace failed for me. So
the man in the dark is Al Horta, man. He's the resident guest on our show. Love having him on our show, man. How you doing, buddy?
All right, brother. How you guys doing, man?
That was a fun show last night too.
Yeah, it was, man.
Oh yeah.
Black Spinner Circle. There you go.
Black Spinner Circle.
And the great Chris Elio, man. Love having this guy, man. This guy, having you and Al on and Travis, man. I'm telling you what, I'm just going to sit back and listen tonight, man. Shut up. That's the best thing. You guys know. And Mark, too. I'm sorry, Mark.
Oh, okay. I was just going.
You motherfuckers are deep divers in the Rush, man. This is going to be very interesting. So looking forward to hearing your input. Yeah, and then we got Travis Perrotta, man.
Oh, thanks for having me on again.
Long time no see. Yeah, long time no see, huh?
Well, he didn't want to be on a Chicago episode last week.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying we saw him last night on the Black Spinner show.
Before we start, I do have a message from Charles that he told me to tell you all.
What?
All right, so the debut album from Rush is the best Rush album.
Oh,
Working Man Rules. Working Man Rules. And he said,
Working Man does rule, yes.
Suck it.
He said, suck it.
It's a good album, but yikes.
That's not. You can definitely tell the difference. You can tell the difference between Rex Drummond and Neil Peart's drumming. That's for sure.
You guys just got to. You Rush fans out there need to explain it to the layman Rush fans when they say that's the best. When that's the best album, I don't think they became Rush till Neil came into the band.
Well,
they totally changed the sound.
I'll say this, man. People who picked that as like their favorite album are probably usually not prog fans.
Yes, they're trendy. They're trendy.
They just want straight up like
trendy. There's the trendy word again.
And they're big. They're probably big Zeppelin fans too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Gene Simmons always said, it sounded like Canadian Zeppelin.
But
yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's like it's like it's just weird when people tell me that's their favorite album. I go, whatever album do you like? I only like that one. Oh, I get it.
Well, I mean, I get shit on for my favorite album too by him, so I understand, man.
What's your favorite album by them?
Presto.
What's wrong with Presto? It's right there on vinyl.
That's incredible.
It's an incredible album.
You don't but you don't hear but you don't hear that very often. That's a
that's what I mean. I tell you.
Presto's
you don't hear
Presto's wacky.
Presto's a favorite. I mean, well, that's the thing about Rush fans, dude. It's like it's all over the place, man. It's like depends on when people come into them, and it's just so.
Presto's.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I'm sorry. I cut you off. That's my bad.
No. I'm just saying. There's no like I don't know. There's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no like I don't know when Kiss fans like usually like it's usually either like Destroyer, Love Gun. It's
either makeup or not.
Yeah. But Rush, like, dude, it's like some people love the synth era and not big on the prog era. Some people only love like the 75 to 81, and they jumped off on Signals and whatever.
The thing with Rush is that they, if you really analyze their career, they have like, I think it's four. If you just take the first album out, they have four distinct like. phases of their career. You have
Yeah.
like from like Fly By Night through like Farewell to Kings, and then you
And then
have
Permanent
like
Waves.
then you have Permanent Waves through like Grace Under Pressure, maybe even Power Windows is kind of half that. And then you got like Hold Your Fire through like Presto, which was like the jazz fusion, Roll the Bones near the end of Roll the Bones. And then Counterparts was like, we're alt rock bitches. Like that was it. It went heavy.
They brought
again.
Alex back into the band.
Yeah.
Well, let me,
so-
let me,
Yes.
let's
You
say
know,
another
and then
unpopular opinion here is about Presto is I think it was the last good Rush album.
yeah, that's a very unpopular opinion because yikes.
What?
Well,
I've got this.
people-
I've
there's
got
people-
this, which has all
well,
their
there's
all
people-
their.
Well,
all their
there's people
post
that would
Presto
say
ones.
that. There's people that would say that Signals is their last good Rush
There-
album.
Right.
I mean,
There's people
there's
that
good-
say 2112 was their
there is-
last good album
now, hold on.
too.
There are good songs on those albums. Don't get me wrong, but as far as one from side A to side B, nah, man.
Well, the
I'm gonna
worst
grab another
album,
beer. I'll be right back.
the worst album in the Rush discography I would pick is Test for Echo, but I love that album.
Oh my god. I
It's a
can't be
great,
on this
it's a
podcast.
great, it's a
I
great
can't
album.
be here. I can't be
Chris, it's a great album. I even like Dog Years. A lot of
Oh my
people
God.
rag on Dog Years. I like Dog Years.
Look, the only album that I could even like because here was the thing, and I'll just get this right out of the way. When we were making like our favorite albums and like trying to do the like it's almost like you have to pick your 11 favorite Rush songs or whatever, that kind of thing. That's not a concept that I can even follow. Like I can't even weed it down because like I'll literally go, yeah, my favorite Rush song is this. And I go, ah, fuck, no, it's not. It's this. And no, it's not. It's this. So the only album that I can honestly say, like I almost went as far as to say I'm gonna pick the 11 worst Rush songs, like in my idea, but I couldn't even come up with 11. That's how bad that is. Like I can't even like to me the entirety of they're the closest that there's ever been to a band that's been around 40 years that has a near perfect catalog where there are no misses. Roll the Bones is the only album that has more than one song on it that I don't immediately love.
Ooh,
Like
I
that
love Roll the Bones, though,
oh no,
man.
I do too, because here's the thing about
That's
Roll
what
the
I'm saying
Bones,
about
like,
Test for
there
Echo.
are-
That
there
is
are
my
two
Roll
songs-
the Bones with you.
there are two songs on Roll the Bones. It's Neurotica and You Bet Your Life. I
I love those songs.
I don't love those songs, but what I will say is songs like Bravado and Heresy and
yeah.
Ghost of a Chance and Big Wheel and Dreamline. These are top tier Rush songs like all time. So they far outweigh my tepid response to Neurotica and You Bet Your Life. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's hard for me to be like, that's their worst album because what? Like, no. Or like Hold Your Fire because like Tai Shan is, I don't know what
I
Neil
love
was
Tai
thinking.
Shan. I don't like Tai Shan, but I love that album, dude.
Tai Shan did like
Oh.
Neil did mescaline in China or something, and all of a sudden he was like,
The band
"And
didn't like that song.
China sang
whole
to
band
me."
Actually,
like it.
I stand corrected. Test for Echo is actually a really good album.
It
Yeah, no
is
shit.
a really
You know,
there is no bad Rush album to
You
me.
know, and I even, going back to the 70s, I even I think I'm going bald. I think that song's great.
It's a
Oh,
great
that's a
fucking
great
song,
dude.
And I love In the Mood. I love In the Mood.
In the Mood?
Boogie,
Great.
Boogie Woogie is Boogie Woogie
I
it
think
is.
I think I'm going bald. I think I'm going bald is one of those that should have been on like it belongs on the first album. It like seems like
It does, yeah.
it's got the same In the Mood type of riff to it.
Because
You
then
know.
you go to Lakeside Park and you go, well, this is weird.
Are you saying that Lakeside Park? Wait, Lakeside
No, it
Park
does.
is.
Like Al
Wait, did you
said,
say? Wait, did you say Lakeside Park is the weird song on an album
No,
with the
it's like they
Necromancer
go-
and
they
the,
go
and the
from-
Fountain of Lamnanth? Are you
No.
high?
they go from yes, I am high, but they go from freaking I think I'm going bald to those songs. Al was right. It doesn't fit on that album. It'd be better on the first album. I love Lakeside Park and I love the fucking Caress of
Listen,
Steel, man.
as Geddy Lee once said, this is not a Rush thing, are words that have never been uttered. So they will literally do anything whenever they want, and that's the way they always were.
A lot of people hate Caress of Steel. That's like
Ugh.
one of their
Love
worst
that album,
Rush
man.
albums in that era.
Well,
I love
That
it.
album fucking rules, dude. I love
You know
that
what,
fucking
fuck
album.
rules.
Groundbreaking album.
Fuck Paul Stanley for what he thinks about that album. He's like, I don't get it. I
Fuck.
don't get it.
Okay,
Get it.
we're doing a little like Rush talk here, but let's get into the BS before we get into the We make our 11-track Rush album plus other like 5 or 6 songs, like a bonus tracks. But let's get into the BS, man. It's actually the news. We call it the BS. But I just want to know. I want to go into a little rant because Edwin Canistracci and Eric RNCP Jordan's hate of Bruce Dickinson and yours, Travis. I hate of Bruce Dickinson and love the Deano era better. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But you guys always call him pretentious. There's more pretentious singers out there than Bruce. But I don't know why you guys seem to pick on him a lot.
On the contrary, I love Bruce. I prefer him over Paul. But I love Paul. I do prefer, but I do love Paul. I love both equally.
No, they're fine. I love Paul better than I love Bruce better than anybody. But the thing is, it's like every time they do an Iron Maiden thing, it's always, well, Priest is better. Priest is better. Priest is better. It's like Priest is awesome. Yeah. Look, I don't see why Priest always has to be in the conversation with Iron Maiden. The thing is, Iron Maiden does way more time signatures. As a prog fan, you dig Maiden. As a metal fan, you dig Priest. There's no wrong answer on this. I love both. I'm just tired of people like saying, well, I don't like Iron Maiden because Priest is better. It's like, why do you have to dog one band to make your band look better all the time? It fucking sucks.
I think the reason
the right answer is Black Sabbath is better than both.
Well, Rush is better than all.
Especially Dio era Black Sabbath, in my opinion. But
right on, Chris.
All right, the fucking weed must be in full force tonight. People have been smoking.
Oh, I've been saying to Dio,
dude, I
said that last night.
Dude, I will debate anyone that I would hold up Heaven and Hell against any album there is, period.
Fantastic album, Chris, man. Fantastic.
Mob rules too. I love Dehumanizer, man.
Yeah, Mob Rules is great too.
Album.
And Dehumanizer's a mess, but it's a great album, but it's a mess.
But it's got and fucking just fucking.
No, it's
rules.
a great album. It's a great album, but it's a mess. It's produced. The production is awful. Dio was a disaster on that album. He was such a pain in the ass. And I hate to say that because he's one of my all-time
But that
favorites.
Heaven and Hell album he did before he died was amazing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Bible Black and stuff like that. Oh my God.
I'll be right back, guys. I want to show you something cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
but,
go ahead, Chris.
But the reason why Maiden and Priest are always brought up in the same sentence is because they broke out at the same time. I mean, Priest predates Maiden by like 10 years.
See that.
By like 10 years.
Is
that my book?
This is Doom Let Loose by Martin Popoff.
You can't see it because
hold it in front of you.
Hold it in front of you.
You hold it in front of you.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a great book. I have that one, man.
What is it?
Doom Let Loose by
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, it's
Martin
Martin Popoff book.
Yeah,
about Black Sabbath. Yeah, it's a great book.
I had the fortunate pleasure of both meeting Ronnie James Dio about 4 years before he died, and I saw one of his last shows in San Francisco, and no one knew he was sick. The guy fucking slayed. I actually wasn't even going to see. I didn't realize. Somebody told me, yeah, dude, I got tickets to see Coheed and Cambria, is actually what he said to me. And I didn't realize they were touring with Heaven and Hell. And I didn't realize that Heaven and Hell changed their name, because when I met them 2 years prior, when I worked at Sirius Satellite Radio, they were Black Sabbath. They were still Black Sabbath, and they were playing Radio City Music Hall when they reunited. So I got to meet them and all that.
It's called Sharon Osbourne.
Well, no, they were called Black Sabbath. They were called Black Sabbath because that album came out under the moniker Black Sabbath. And then they changed their name officially to Heaven and Hell later on, when they released that album.
You're talking about the reunion with Dio. You're talking about,
right? The Heaven and Hell album, dude.
But that's the band was called Heaven and Hell. It was not called Black Sabbath
because Sharon made them change it.
So the live album that came out with the reunion,
it's not called Black Sabbath.
I
have it, dude. I have the Radio City Music Hall. It's Heaven and Hell, dude.
Well, they changed it later. Maybe he saw it earlier.
No, dude. It's. Listen, I met
that
Dio.
Was weird. I don't know.
I met Dio as well when they were promoting the Rules of Hell box set.
Oh, that's a great box set, man.
Which was all the Black Sabbath albums involving Dio in one package. and I met Dio, I met Vinny, I met the whole band, and I actually had a friend of mine in the radio who was a radio DJ who got me in the back room with them, not a meet and greet where you kind of walk through, you give you your signature, hello, goodbye, and see you later. I got to spend an actual like 45 minutes in a room with them and talking to each one of them. And Dio couldn't have been the fucking most awesome guy to ever talk to, dude. I mean, that guy just like engaged with you. We talked sports actually because I didn't want to talk music with him, you know, because everybody talks music with him. And when I started talking sports with him, forget it, man. You talked my ear off. You know what I'm saying? He was great, dude. And then you know, I got a great picture of him. Everybody sees the picture on my Facebook. I'm sure you guys saw a picture of me and Dio. Anyway, and then I saw them on
happy anniversary, by the way.
Yes,
congrats.
And I saw, on that final tour, I saw the second to last show. They played at Madison Square Garden, but not the big room. They played the theater at Madison Square Garden, and then the following night or 2 nights later, they played Atlantic City, New Jersey, which was the last show that Dio ever did. So I saw like the second to last show.
You're right.
Ever by Dio. So
my bad, man. I was getting it mixed up with the greatest hits that came out that said the Dio years. I got
that's Black Sabbath.
Yeah, that's on me. That's on me. My bad, dude.
But the actual studio album was Heaven and Hell.
No, that I know. That I know. The Devil You Know. Yeah, no, that's definitely Heaven and Hell. And the live album that they recorded at Radio City. So that's when I met Dio, was when they were promoting that, because that's when I worked at Sirius Satellite Radio.
Yeah, that's when they were Heaven and Hell already. Yeah, that's when they were Heaven and Hell already.
And it was a similar situation. I got to like actually talk to them because I was board opping the interview with them. So I was actually like in the studio, and then like they would come in and out, and I would go in and be like, "Hey, do you guys need anything?" Blah blah blah. And then I got to like hang out with them and stuff, and it was super cool. Just such a humble dude. And
that guy's amazing.
Oh my god!
Can I say something about Dio?
Just from that one meeting with him, I missed the hell out of him. Man.
I know, me too, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. Holy shit!
Something about Dio is that I think Tony Iommi said that guy was in so much pain at that fucking that show they recorded, that live show. And he just fucking gave it his all. It's like everybody talks about Freddie Mercury recording, like in The Show Must Go On and Full Blown AIDS. Fucking Ronnie James Dio was in full blown stomach cancer there, man.
Yeah, no,
come on, man. And he put his all. He never looked down. He never looked frail. The guy, I could say something about Freddie Mercury, but he had AIDS. He looked frail. You didn't know Dio was dying.
No, well, that's what I was saying. So I was there. One of the coolest memories I have is that like I had really good seats for the show at the Warfield in San Francisco, and Coheed and Cambria was the band I was there to see, and they fucking slayed, and they came out and did their thing. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess we'll hang out for a few songs, you know, for whoever this is. And then it comes out, and all of a sudden I hear like, you know, they open with Neon Nights, and I was like, holy crap. I'm like, is this
nice?
I'm like, who is this shit? I was like, what is it? And then the best thing was like during the show, I look over to the side, and the Coheed and Cambria guys are just banging out.
I love that band,
absolutely
dude.
Getting off
that
on
band
everything.
Rules.
It was so cool. It was so cool. Like, it was so much fun. So yeah, it was really cool to see that show. And it was really like, it was sad to know later on, like I think it was like a year later,
he was gone.
He had died, but like it was sad, but it was amazing. That show was amazing.
You know what's funny about Coheed and Cambria? People said, "Hey Mark, check this out, they sound like Rush." I listened to them and go, "Fuck, this rules." I like a higher pitch Geddy Lee. But the thing is, the guy admitted they weren't a big Rush fan.
No, that was a joke. That was a joke, by the way. Yeah,
it was. He did that on Eddie Trunk, though.
Yeah, no, that wasn't. I mean, they may not have been huge Rush fans, but they're clearly influenced by Rush. You can't make that up.
Yeah, you can't. I like that band. That band's really cool. And I posted some videos on that band. I get a lot of hate. People, I hate this band.
Yeah,
fuck Coheed and Cambria. And then Charles, he said, I saw them live and they sucked. You know, bands have bad nights.
When did he see them? They did kind of suck in the beginning of their career. They've gotten much better. They're one of those bands that I've seen so many times live that I can actually compare, and they work really hard at their craft, that they're so much better now than they were when I first saw them back in like the early 2000s. So I really appreciate that when I see bands do that. Anyway, we're having a conversation here, and there's 3 other people here. What's up?
Yeah, well, I'm going to get to the next topic. I always want to know. I know Travis hates him.
I like them both the same. I like all 3 native singers.
Okay. Sorry,
for
Jerry. You're the co-host.
I mean,
you can interrupt whenever you want.
I own this one, so
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
please.
I
But
own this one, so I get it.
Well, I'll tell you what for sure. If you want to talk about other singers, I mean, Ripper Owens was a way better replacement for Halford than I forget the guy's name who
Blaze
replaced
Bailey.
Dickinson.
Blaze
Yeah,
Bailey.
Ripper Owens is a
Well,
fucking
Ripper
animal.
is good, but not on his not on the stuff with Priest. He's good doing the old Priest songs live.
He's
I
good
just
with
I just played
Iced Earth.
Beyond the Realms of Death, and I have a live version of Ripper, and I have a live version with Rob, and I had to go, okay, oh wait, this is Rob, that's
Yeah.
Ripper. It
Yeah,
was
no,
kind of
Ripper's
hard to
Ripper's
decipher.
a
For
beast, dude. He's a
sounds
fucking
just like
animal.
Rob on those old fucking Judas Priest stuff, man.
And I did not like the guy who replaced Dickinson for Maiden. I did
Oh,
not.
Blaze Bailey, he saw them in concert.
Yeah, I did not like them. I did not like him. I saw Coheed open for Maiden too, oddly. Coincidentally.
You know who sucks? Steve Harris's son's band called the Raven Age. They're horrible. I saw them live. Oh God. No.
So who do I hate?
The Raven Age.
No. What you said? I hate a band. Which band?
Oh, you hate you. I thought you hated Bruce. So my bad.
No. My favorite album used to be Somewhere in Time, by the way.
That's a great fucking album, man.
Fucking great
But
album.
now I've changed my mind, and it's not because Paul Di'Anno's on it. I just think Killers is the best Maiden album ever.
Oh, not even.
No, I think that's just, but I
Second
honestly think that's
that
about
has to be peace of
songwriting.
mind.
I'm still
No,
a Number of the Beast fan.
I love Peace of Mind. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the
Revelations, man.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite. That's my favorite Iron Maiden song.
Yeah.
But my favorite album is Number of the Beast. That's the album I came in on.
I love Number of the Beast,
and then
but
Killers
because
is
of
my
Revelations,
second.
I picked that album
Mine
first.
too. That's my 1-2 as well.
Power Slave,
Now-
bitches.
Killers.
But Revelations is my favorite song, though.
Power Slave is my favorite song.
Yeah, I'm all about
Slave's my
Power
favorite
Slave.
song.
That's my favorite album.
All right. Since we got into some Iron Maiden talk, I was reading in the groups that, Nico McBain looks slow. Nico McBain is not, they're down tuning for Nico. He's not hitting those drum parts. But we come to find out in January of this year, he had a stroke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Was
about that.
Was it like Mitch McConnell level stroke or?
It looked like he was on an edible, but no politics, man. But that was funny.
Politics. I'm making fun of a dude who checked out in the middle of a press conference.
I think one of my
he
friends
closed all his windows early, dude.
somebody put up a meme of Mick Jagger did Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, and Mitch McConnell's the same age as Mick Jagger. I think Mitch should have did the Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll because he's out. He's stupid. Whatever.
Dude, I've never seen anything like that in my whole life, and I don't want to nail on people who have strokes because that shit sucks, man. That's really scary, but it could not happen to a more evil dude. Like it just.
I think everybody's evil, man.
These fucking people are in their 80s, dude. Get the fuck out.
But
man.
Nico McBrain, yes, Nico's still playing, and dude had a stroke. I mean, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I saw them before he had the stroke, and they were amazing at the Anaheim show. And it was cool because I did film that on the Freeform Rock Podcast YouTube channel. Bruce Dickinson taking a guy off the stage, going, "Come here," and he gets him and pushes him to security.
Do you know that Nico
wow.
McBrain has never used a double pedal like ever?
Really?
Yeah,
No,
he
he's
plays
always
one.
been
I
double
like
kick.
One
it.
kick.
They're
It's a double. I thought it was
comparing
a
it.
double kick though. Yeah, the
They
double
he
are
never uses
comparing
double kick.
Nico
Really?
to freaking Matt Sorum, calling him a robot drummer. Fuck no.
Matt Sorum.
Nico is not a fucking robot drummer.
Dude, Matt
And
Sorum,
I
he
like
pl-
Matt Sorum.
Yeah, but he played with the Cult and Guns N' Roses. Take it easy.
Hey, he rules. I like him.
And Motorhead. He was in Motorhead also for Onslaught.
All right.
So what do you
Motorhead.
think
I can't
about
shoot,
Nico
I can't
McBain?
shit on Motorhead.
Nico McBain, Al?
Brain.
McBain.
McBain.
Nico McBrain.
Brain.
McBain to base.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if he had a stroke and it looks like he recovered, and probably just a very mild stroke or something, or mini stroke as they call them. my mom had a stroke last year, and has trouble walking now and stuff, but she's recovering. She has the kind that you can recover from. She didn't get the droop face thing, which was good. But props to him, man. I mean, he's still going, man.
I mean, he's 71 years old, man. I
Yeah.
mean, that in and of itself before stroke is amazing. I mean,
Yeah, and he's drumming he still drums great, dude. I mean,
I saw they were amazing. They had a mosh pit with the guy with the lightsaber. I put that on the free form out there. And then the guy had a lightsaber going to the circle moshing. I was like, that guy rules.
his name is Michael Henry Nico McBrain. He was born June 5th, 1952.
My favorite main drummer still is Clive Burr, though. I think he's the best.
Well, he is the best. I agree with that. But I think Bruce.
But Nico's no slouch. I mean, he played with Pat Travers in the 70s, man, which is really cool. I remember seeing it coming across. I remember having a bootleg video of Pat Travers in like 76, and Nico was on the drums. I was like, holy shit, I never even knew he drummed for him, man. Yeah, he was in Pat Travers.
I gotta get some Pat Travers
before Tommy Aldridge came into Pat Travers. Nico was his drummer, so. And he was in another band called Trust or something, I think.
Yeah, the French band.
Wasn't he in Number of the Beast video where he's running around in the suit?
Supposedly, yeah, that was supposed to be him. Yeah. So
I love Clive Burr, man. Did he do anything after Maiden, or he just stopped?
I think he did something with I think oh Jesus Christ, Paul Di'Anno I think he did something with Paul Di'Anno, I think. I don't know if it was Paul Di'Anno's Battle Zone or something. It was like some sort of project he did with him, I think. So, but he didn't do much after Maiden, I don't think.
No, he didn't.
I don't think, he did a couple of things here and there.
After leaving Maiden, he played with Trust. He switched places with Nico McBrain.
Oh, no shit, man. I didn't know that.
And then he played with Alcatraz for a bit.
Ooh,
wow.
Okay. Oh, whoa, what?
Yeah, he played with Alcatraz for a while.
When Travis woke up there.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
What? Jerry, what do you think about Nico, man?
I loved it. I mean, what do you think? It sucks. I mean, seriously. What do I think about it?
I loved it. It was great.
You could give your opinion.
I'm just fucking with you, dude.
I'm just saying a lot of fans were getting on him after January about his face.
Mark, I'm just fucking with you. Anyway, I mean, Nick, and you hear a lot of people say this, but he seems like one of the nicest fucking people in the business too. You know what I mean? He's got this place called Rockin' Ribs down in Florida.
I want to go to it.
I passed it one time. I know. Well, a person that you don't like me mention's been there a few times. That's a real cool place.
I don't care about him.
Dr.
Fuck.
You know what's funny about Iron Maiden is I never picture those guys as being old, but they're getting fucking old, man. I mean, it's sad, but
dude,
you know what
I mean? Their music reflects it. I'm not gonna shit on Maiden too much here, but they really, really they fall in love with their shit more than anybody else.
I love Senjutsu, man.
Dude, they just here's my problem. Here's literally my problem with them. It's so simple. Just cut every song by 3 minutes, and every song would be better.
Well, they can take off the long intros, like Aaron Camaro did from the Decibel Geek. He took Senjutsu and took off those long instrumental intros, and he said the album is fucking great.
I don't mind them.
And you were talking about like their time signatures, like, dude, like, okay, they do different time signatures and that's great. But on the newest album, the last album, it was literally, I felt like every song was the same tempo.
I think
every song was the same tempo. Every song. Book of Souls was actually pretty legit.
I love Book of Souls.
I like it. But again, that was another one of those where every song I felt like was like 2.5 minutes too long. And I'm like, why are we still doing this? Why are we still doing this?
They got comfortable.
Yeah,
I like
their shit. They get into a groove and they're just doing their shit.
The thing is, Chris, I saw them. They played like 4 or 5 songs off Senjutsu. The audience did not go take a piss.
That's good.
They were excited for the new songs.
I can't shit on Maiden, man. I mean, they're here for a reason, and they still sound good. I can't. It's not a terrible album. It's just not. I don't know. They lost me.
I don't reach for it when I really reach for any Maiden. You know,
The thing is, when I'm on thatmetalstation.com and Jerry and Matthew Warner give me requests for Maiden, I want to play more new Maiden since it's you, but those fuckers take up my bandwidth on that, so I can't do it.
Side note, Cliff Burr probably didn't play all that much because he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in the late 90s. So just
yeah.
So and he died in 2013.
All right,
So.
Travis, you got anything to say about the?
I'm just glad that Nico is making a recovery. I'm glad he's just still kicking ass with Maiden. And I did hear Steve Harris say that he wants to retire the band pretty soon, and I think that's the wise choice to make. And I think it is
Well, I
the
mean,
wise choice to make because
Well,
I'd
just
rather
keep
see them
going
go.
on. Just keep going on tour, at least, man. You don't need to.
I'd rather see them.
Yeah, but the touring
Go out
touring
on
is probably
top.
the problem, man.
yeah,
But they still rule live.
they still
man.
sound great. Unlike,
No,
Yeah, but
they
you don't-
sound amazing.
Yeah, but
unlike,
who knows?
unlike an American band that wears.
It's
Yeah, but
not
listen,
like
man.
Kiss.
Who knows? Who knows? In 2-3 years, they'll be crippling on stage. Then, bro, like you know,
Yeah, maybe
You
they
know,
should stop early.
go out on top. Like go out like Rush did, dude.
Well, I was
Go
just
out
about
with
to say.
dignity.
I was just about to say. Like,
I'll still
just
say.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Travis.
Travis.
I'll still say Maiden is still a force to be reckoned with live.
Yes,
I
they
just
are.
don't want to. I just don't want to hear the next day that Nico dies or anything like that. I
No,
just
I don't
want.
want to hear that.
Right.
either.
No,
I
it's
want,
just
I
like
want Nico with us.
it's just like I said, like their studio career Rush is almost perfect, and they did this perfectly. They left, and they just left on their own accord, and that was it. They were
They
just
didn't
done.
play the farewell
They
card.
didn't play
No.
they didn't play the farewell
They said,
tour.
"Come, maybe this will be our last tour."
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but they didn't
I'm
bill
still-
it. They didn't bill it a farewell
No,
tour.
they didn't. Other
Oh.
people did it for them.
I had ticket. I had a ticket waiting for me at that last show, and I did not go, and
No,
I regret it
fuck,
to this
dude, you
very
kidding
The
me?
last
fucking
show
day.
was at the Forum
I
here
know.
in my area. I could not get tickets. They were
tickets
so
must have been- The
expensive,
tickets must
dude.
have been astronomical.
They were
I lived-
astronomical. I
I
could not
li-
get tickets. I saw freaking the last album tour.
I had a free ti-
Clockwork
I had a-
Angels. I saw
had a
that
free
tour where they
ticket.
had like a little string band up there. They were amazing, man. They're amazing. I couldn't get tickets. My
That's my
favorite band of
all-time
all
favorite
time
show. That's my all-time favorite show was the Clockwork
to
Angels show.
see Rush on the R40, man. I got tickets to any Rush concert I wanted to go to. I could not get tickets for that. You know how depressing that was for me? It's like
The
Tom
way-
Petty at the Hollywood Bowl. I should have
that,
went
bro.
to that.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
That's me.
beautiful, man.
That's me and my then
All right.
13-year-old son.
Nice.
Now I want to show you something funny. You see how I'm standing next to Getty?
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like my hands in his pants?
You're grabbing the Getty schlong.
What are you giving him a rubbing tug or
Well,
something?
well,
Well,
that'll get him.
you know he's circumcised. You know he's
Well,
Jewish.
I'm
if you-
holding
if
a
you-
hoodie, so
well,
that's
I know you're a
squeeze him
big,
out-
I know you're a
if
big
you-
fan, Chris, but man, come on.
well, if
You want to see if Getty had a huge dick. Come on.
if you squeezed him harder, he would have made that high pitched voice again.
They did a great job on Clockwork Angels, man. And I have the video R40.
they sound amazing till the very end, and they did it the right way. And that I would say that I wish when I saw Kiss do their farewell tour in 2000 that would have actually been it for that version of them, and they would have just come and did something different. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just don't hold on too long. Maiden still gets respect for sounding good. That's all I hear from people. Wow, I saw Maiden last night. They
Judas
sounded
Priest
great.
sounds great too.
Dude.
I've seen them more than Maiden.
But they're going to be done. Like Halford, I think, has said they're done after this. Like, he's done.
I thought
I
they were
think-
doing a new album, man.
I don't know, man.
They are doing a new album.
I don't think
I
Halford
hope
will
so.
ever quit, man. Halford wants to die on stage like Ozzy.
Oh,
Ozzy's nearly gotten his wish on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the next thing. This is sad news. We're fans of this guy. And Jerry wasn't a fan, but he said he was sad. Paul Rubens, man, Pee Wee Herman, died at age 70 after a private bout with cancer. He never told anybody he had cancer. I know he got busted for
Knocking
fucking jacking off in a
What,
porno
jerking
theater.
off in a porn theater? Like,
It's a-
stop it.
But then
It's
he
a porn
came back.
theater. I mean, what else are you
What
supposed
was
to do
it?
there?
1991, 1992 MTV Music Awards. He
91,
comes
I
up
think.
and goes, "You got any good jokes?"
Yeah,
Make fun of
Yeah,
himself.
I mean, dude,
Paul
Pee Wee
Rubens,
Herman's
man. I
dude's
think
a
they're
classic.
even painting one of the Cabazon fucking dinosaurs where he's up there with that waitress as Pee Wee Herman right now out here in California. That's fucking cool as fuck because without Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Cabazon dinosaurs would not have been a huge tourist attraction.
right.
I'm just saying that was a great fucking actor,
people
great movie. Watch him in Blow with fucking
I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Blow,
my
dude.
my favorite
Cheech
my
and
favorite
Chong
thing is
movies.
my favorite thing is his death scene in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
uh,
That's my
I
But
like the
if he-
television series better than that movie.
Oh yeah.
But that
No,
movie is campy
Dude.
goodness. I do love it.
dude, I've been watching I was watching Pee Wee Herman from the very beginning when he was on HBO. When his show was on HBO before anything, it was like low key like underground shit. Like I fucking loved Pee Wee Herman as a kid. I remember hearing about the jerking off thing. I was a teenager. I remember thinking like, why is this a big deal? Like what? Like I don't understand. And I kind of got it because it was Pee Wee's Playhouse. He was a children's, icon, like a children's character at that point. So I guess I kind of understand, but still, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. That was like a Me Too moment long before that shit was relevant. Like, it's awful.
But Twisted Sister was in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, they were. You're gonna burn in hell.
Yes.
But like, if you think about two major controversial characters of that time died this week, because Sinead O'Connor died this week too.
Yeah.
And hers
She was
like
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was 100% right. And hers was
Yep.
quite tragic because she probably killed herself. I don't want to get nailed on being wrong here, but like she was only 58 and there was no like determined cause of death. So, and that's sad. Like her story is hella sad. Like she was very abused as a child but yeah, it was a bad
Well,
week,
I
man.
mean,
It was bad.
Then she lost a kid like a year or two ago, didn't she?
Suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was bad for her. She had a tough life, that one.
You
And-
too
and-
supported her. Come on. There you go.
It should have. Everybody should have.
Yeah.
Instead, another
Who was the one
cancellation.
who went off on the system saying, "Hey, you didn't like save Karen Carpenter. You didn't save this person. You didn't save that person."
Morrissey.
Morrissey went off on that, right?
Oh,
He
fuck
was
that guy.
right. He was right. The Smiths rule, by the way.
Ugh. Garbage.
Jerry. Jerry. You don't know how much power Morrissey had in the 80s, dude. He started a riot at Irvine Meadows Amphitheater saying, "Hey, there's more of you than security guards. Come up on the stage."
The worst freaking show MTV ever had was 120 minutes, man.
Oh, I
God,
thought
no.
Morrissey.
Shit,
I thought Morrissey would have. I thought Morrissey would have started a rally if he said "meat is murder."
Oh, that album's awesome. Sorry, I love fucking the Smiths.
Well, get it vegan.
Jerry, you got anything to say about Pee Wee, Paul Rubens?
I mean, like I said, I was never a huge fan of him, but a lot of people, surprisingly, a lot of people like this guy. So, sorry for your guys' loss. I mean,
You never watched Pee Wee's Big Adventure?
The dude drove me crazy, man. I liked him in his little cameo. Better. The dude fucking annoyed me.
That's a great.
But like his cameo in the Blues Brothers, shit like that, I liked him in. You know what I mean?
Did you ever see the Saturday Night Live where he played Pee Wee Herman with Andy Samberg, where they did shots, and they were fucking beating up all these people, Andy and Pee Wee, and they said, "You know what, Andy? I can't be around you no more because I'm doing bad things."
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, man. I want to see people die, man. So,
Right.
Dude, Pee Wee was awesome. What do you think
okay,
about
he
it?
was awesome, dude. Okay, he was awesome. Okay?
You need to watch that shots with him and Andy Samberg.
I won't,
SNL.
but
When
okay.
SNL was good. Travis, what do you think about Pee Wee, man?
I think it's tragic. I'll be honest with you. I did not grow up with Pee Wee. I was born in 1992. But I did remember him from Batman Returns. Like, I'm not much of a Paul Rubens fan, but
He was
I
Oswald's dad.
respect what he did for children's television, and I hope he rests in peace.
Here, here.
Al, what do you think about that?
Well, he died of cancer, dude. I mean, cancer takes away a lot of our fucking people that we like, man. Cancer sucks, and he kept it secret though, man. I mean, he didn't make it public, which I guess that's pretty admirable, dude. I mean, I grew up I remember Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I remember Pee-wee's Playhouse. I loved him in Cheech and Chong.
I forgot about that. He was good in that one.
There was the funny part in Cheech and Chong when him and Chong are doing like cocaine under the table and shit, and then he comes up, he's like, that Bruce Springsteen, man, he's fucking up rock and roll. I thought that was hilarious.
Bruce, though, man.
So, I mean, yeah, rest in peace, man. I mean, if he was suffering, I'm glad, it's good that he's not suffering anymore. So cancer sucks. Fuck cancer. And rest in peace, brother.
All right, man. I'm going to do something I thought I'd never do on this show or any show I'm on. I got to give Taylor Swift some props, man. She took care of her truckers. $100,000, bonuses.
And she just announced a new tour.
I don't care what she does. I don't like her music, but I don't hate her. That's the problem. It's fine if you like it. Like, I'm not going to say you're trendy. Tour, just enjoy for me. Enjoy it for me.
She just announced more touring.
God damn.
You'll make another
I will enjoy
dollars.
I will enjoy it. I like some Taylor Swift songs.
I've seen Martina McBride live, and I think she kicks Taylor Swift's ass. Just saying. Just this my thing. Because she ended the concert, Martina McBride, with Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Country artist did a Journey song. Thought that was pretty fucking awesome. But what do you think about that, Jerry?
I mean, she gets a bad name. Everybody thinks she's like this snobbish, evil, snooty person, but she's not. Just look up all the charities this woman's donated to in her career, man. I mean, that's a cool thing to do. I think it'll end up being 55 million total. So all her people. I mean, to her that's piddly shit, but to those people, man, that's life changing money. So good for her, man.
Yeah, $100,000 to a trucker. I mean, that's fucking.
And when was the last time you seen somebody fill up a stadium? This is America, maybe in other countries. Because when was the last time you seen somebody sell out a stadium and have 20 to 30,000 people out in the parking lot?
Crazy.
When have you seen that?
Yeah, I have it, and that's fine. Enjoy her.
Next, she's going to announce her presidential run.
It is the closest thing that our version of Beatlemania, dude.
Yes, absolutely. This 100%. is
I've never seen anything like it.
It's a cultural phenomenon going on.
It's a cultural phenomenon. Absolutely. This is an unprecedented type thing that we've never seen. Like it's been not since probably maybe Michael Jackson in the 80s, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe.
That's a good way to
hats off to her. I don't have to like the music, but I could give her respect.
I'm not saying this like you're ridiculous for not liking her. You like her or dislike her, that's fine. I'm just saying it's a phenomenon. That's all you can say. There's nothing.
I don't
else to
hate
say
her at all. I respect her for helping her employees out like that. That was freaking awesome, man. Props to Taylor Swift.
I'm gonna get you to like a Taylor Swift song.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to review an album on Freeform Rock Podcast coming up. So
there you go.
Oh,
did you lose a bet?
No, because I'm not a dick. And if somebody asks to do something, I said, whatever, do it, don't I, Jerry?
I refuse
any
I need you to listen to it. I want you to listen to it, and I want you to let the words wash over you. I want you to let it.
Dude, when somebody
I want it to wash over you, and I want you to feel the melodies.
When somebody's daughter asks you, I'm going to say yes. I'm sorry.
I am too, but I did get him to agree to do an extreme album for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love to do an extreme album.
I'm seeing Extreme on Sunday night.
I'm sorry to hear.
Nice. I love Gary Sharon, man. I love Nuno. I love that
Yeah.
Kevin Figueroa on drums. I think he's better than the original drummer. By
I
the way.
looked up their set list. They're playing tremendous set list.
God, fuck! I'm so jealous of
You know,
these
I
guys.
don't hate Extreme like Charles does. I like a few of their songs, but I'm not really big on
All
I
right.
don't like that song either.
So everybody talked about Taylor Swift. Al, did you talk about her?
Oh,
Al?
it. Travis.
Al's black.
I like. You know what? When I was a teenage metalhead, I hated Taylor Swift. I'm like, fuck Taylor Swift. She sucks. And then I got older and I heard some of her songs, and you know they aged better for me. I dig them. I dig some
They
Taylor
do.
Swift songs.
They
I'm
age
not.
very
I'm
well.
not.
Yes.
I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but I respect her and I like some tunes. And I think she's awesome for paying her trucker that much amount of money. Whew, that'll send his grandchildren through college.
I'm just
all
gonna
of their
say,
truckers, like all
if
of them.
Charles's daughter is watching this, because she's gonna be on a podcast, I'm sorry. There you go. No
I
offense
well,
towards you.
You guys
Dude,
should
if
do
we-
1980.
if we-
You guys should.
If we promote that in the right places, I guarantee it'll be the biggest.
Well, I told you
listened to
guys
show.
to join all the Taylor Swift.
You put that
groups.
thing
It
on
only
Taylor.
took-
I'm
Swift,
not going to be
put that thing
fake.
on
I
Taylor
can't join
Swift's
groups I don't like. So
You put
It
that on
only
Taylor
took Taylor
site.
Swift.
no,
It took Taylor Swift.
I can't. You have anything to say about Taylor Swift, Al?
No, props to her, dude. I mean, that's a fucking very selfless thing to do, dude. And I think it's awesome, man. She's taking care of her crew like that. So
Right.
What are you gonna say, Travis? What are you gonna say, Travis? Sorry, man.
You
I
said it
interrupted
about
you.
it.
You was gonna say something else. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I'm a casual Taylor Swift fan. I
Well,
like some of her
enjoy.
music, so I will enjoy it. And you guys should do 1985. That's a good album.
And you could be trendy as much as you want because you're a cool cat, man. But then we
Prefer
get to
Lover's my album.
our favorite part of the show. We like to talk shit about Journey or Motley Crue. This week it's Motley Crue.
Yay!
Nikki Six says we don't give a fuck phase of our career. What do you think about that, Jerry?
When did that start?
Dude, I am so done with them, dude. I mean, I'm just so tired of hearing fucking Motley Crue shit. Stupid shit every fucking week, man. They do and say, Nikki Six especially. Fucking, move, just go away. You should have retired with dignity in 2012. That was that last tour they said they were going to retire.
I think it was 15.
15, okay, whatever.
That was a good show.
Perfect time to go out, man. But, I don't know. I'm so tired of it, dude. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, yeah, we could tell you don't give a fuck. That's all I want to say. Travis,
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
Geez.
Oh, I was about to throw a really bad Motley Crue joke out there. Can I do it?
Go for
Yeah,
it, man.
please.
I wish Razzle lived.
Oh,
Woo. That way, the Shout at the Devil would have been a great final album. And Vince, I'm just joking. I love Vince Neil. I love Vince Neil.
Wait,
but-
dude, I wish the crime system, I wish the justice system worked the right way and put people in jail when they should be.
Oh,
There you go.
Absolutely. Vince Neil, yeah, he would have been a very pretty boy in jail.
Would've been.
Come here, boy.
Yes, his asshole would be gaped right now.
Oh, boy.
But
Don't
but
drop
to
the
me,
soap, Vince.
I-
Don't drop the soap, Vince. There you go.
I swear, you know what? Fuck Motley Crue, man. Fuck them. If it wasn't for Shout at the Devil, they'd be just by the wayside by the
I
time
love smoking in the
1998.
boys' room, and I love Theater Pan. I love Girls. I love Dr. Feelgood, man. But you have
Theater
the
Pain
right to
has
have
some
your
good
own
songs.
opinion.
Theater Pain has some good songs. It's just everybody just overrates them.
Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
I only have one thing to say about Motley Crue. That's all I have to say. Vince Neil.
Here, man.
Oh, what do you
Listen to
think
me-
about that?
Listen to me. Yeah, exactly. Vince Neil is the luckiest man in rock and metal history.
But
He
he's
should
the
be-
only one who
he
cares
should-
in that
He
band.
should be bagging groceries. That's why he cares so much, because he knows he should be a box boy at a fucking LA grocery store. If he wasn't pretty and didn't have long blonde hair for the metal starter kit and was able to carry a tune barely, because if you listen to Too Fast for Love, he's off key quite a fucking bit. The luckiest man in metal history. What the fuck? That's all I'm gonna say. Hiya! That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Al, what do you think about
and
that?
you know what? His voice was never good anyway.
No, that's
Oh,
what I'm
whatever.
saying. Dog shit from the word go.
I liked it. Al, what do you think about that?
Dude, they haven't given a fucking since that Karabi album. I mean, I love the Karabi album, and then after that,
I like New Tattoo.
Their best album was the Karabi album.
That
love that album, dude. And I don't know, you know, Nick. It's funny, man, when you go back and like listen to interviews and read interviews with him during that era, the Karabi era. I mean, he was all in. It was like that. This is the new band. We got a better ingredient and all this shit. And dude, and then like when the album stiffs, what do, bro? You fucking turn your back on it.
It didn't even stiff that hard though, man. Like it
went
still
gold.
it still went gold, yeah. And like
Yeah.
Karabi was like one of the hardest working musicians.
was the album before that.
He was in
like
a fantastic
12 million,
band,
wasn't it?
He was in a fantastic band called The Scream beforehand. And,
Oh, yeah,
Great band.
oh my
Yeah.
god. And yeah, I'm trying to remember.
But the album before that sold so many copies, more than that, it was considered a failure. That's why.
Dr. Feelgood was the album
Yeah.
before that. So
yeah, well, of course. And fans revolted, of course they did, but
I
still,
did.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I did not. I loved it from the word go. I
got it
was in
15 years later.
Me too.
Yeah,
No, from the word go, I got that album when it came out. I remember seeing the Hooligans Holiday video.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I gotta go get this, man.
I hated it back then, dude. I
Not
hated it. I
me.
go, that ain't Vince. I was kind of superficial.
They were heavy and they were fucking.
Thank God it ain't Vince.
They were heavy and lyrically it was like awesome, and it was just that album holds up so much better than pretty much the whole catalog to this day.
And actually, before that, they had the Decade of Decadence that came out, which had new songs on it too.
Primal
Remember, they
Scream.
had like the Live Wire
Primal
remix,
Scream,
and they had Primal Scream on there. So yeah, they were still, and that went to #2 on Billboard. So yeah, I mean,
And that
Motley Crue.
billboard was in Hollywood, Sunset Strip, Decade of Decadence, Motley Crue.
yeah.
I was right in front, just before you got the Tower Records. That billboard was right there for it.
As far as not giving a fuck, dude, that's just Nicky running off his mouth as usual and just trying to stay relevant in the news. So that's just, yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Did I ask you, Jerry, about Nicky yet?
Yeah, we were spending way too much time on Nikki Sixx.
Well,
Yeah.
well, I have one more thing about Nicky Sixx because it's hilarious as fuck. Okay, he wrote this. Okay, here's a question: why do bands fight with other bands?
Oh fuck,
Jerry.
It's funny because my side note is going to be: do you know that Guns N' Roses is taking Carrie Underwood out with them to tour? Like the special guests throughout the tour is Carrie Underwood, Pretenders, Alice in Chains, and Dirty Honey, and the
Dirty
Warning.
Honey rules.
Yeah, but what a weird lineup, though.
Well,
The Warning,
Carrie
Dirty Honey,
Underwood should
Alice
not
in
be
Chains, Pretenders, and Carrie Underwood.
I think Carrie Underwood's only doing selected dates.
But still, it's Carrie Underwood, the Pretenders, Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains is heavier than all of these bands.
Like,
Pretenders are really good, though. You
I
can't
wouldn't mind looking at those legs
discount
for a
Chrissy
few
Hine,
hours.
man.
They're all great, but like none of these bands are bad. It's a weird lineup.
Well,
It's just
Carrie
very
Underwood's the only weird.
weird. She's not bad. It's just a weird lineup.
I won't mind looking at her legs for an hour or two, so that's fine.
Are you going to that show, Jerry?
No.
Then
No, I heard Guns N' Roses is a freak show at this point.
so what about I like Slash with Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators better, but
Miles Kennedy's a fucking animal, dude. He's amazing.
fuck yeah, I saw Alter Bridge live. Yeah, before I got back surgery, the day before I got fucked up, for some reason I walked in the house to do Andy's podcast and I couldn't walk right after the Alter Bridge show because some guy knocked me down. He was drunk. But Miles
Dude,
Kennedy was
I
great
watched
live, man. So
I
was
watched-
Wolfgang Van Halen. Wolfgang Van Halen is really good live too.
I watched Miles Kennedy on the weekend that Chris Cornell died. And him and Alter Bridge, they did a version of "Say Hello to Heaven," and we all cried. 90,000 people in the arena in the stadium. and we all cried. That was at a fest. I was at Sonic Temple Festival.
I seen
And-
Miles live, and he's an amazing frontman. I seen him with Slash, and I seen him with Alter Bridge. Really good, both shows, man. One of the best shows I've seen.
Incredible. Anyway,
Yeah. But Al, what do you think about Nikki Sixx? Why do bands fight with other bands?
It's been always that way for as far as you can. I mean, didn't the Beatles fight with the Stones? I mean, it's like,
Not really, because the Beatles wrote them their first hit. I
well,
Want to Be Your Man.
there was always like that rivalry, though. It was like, they were friends, but there was always like that rivalry. It goes back, dude. I mean, didn't fucking Skinner fight with Neil Young? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, it's nothing new. So
it's
I
it's better
think
than having
probably-
bands fight inside their own bands, though.
It was
Yeah,
like
I
the
think
Eagles
Bravo-
versus Steely Dan. They
think
stab it
Rick-
with their steely knives, but they just can't kill the beast.
I
That was
think
a retort.
I think rivalry is good for. I think it's good, man. I think it's you want to do better than other bands. It's my band's better than your band. Oasis was the best at that. They were the greatest band in the world.
They'd fight. Well, they had so much practice fighting with each other, so
With each other, yeah.
So was the Robinsons and the Black Crows, man.
Yeah, Black
hell
Crowes,
yeah.
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 That's inner fighting.
Well, at least they're back together and kicking ass right now.
Yeah.
Jerry, did you talk about Nikki Sixx? Why do bands fight other bands already?
Yep, I just gave you this look.
Okay, Travis.
Because they do. Because they
Okay.
do. Nikki Sixx is like, also, Nikki Sixx, I got 31 years clean and sober. Yeah. 31 years since you wrote a decent song.
Yeah, right.
Boom.
Travis is on fire tonight, man.
Whoa. That had to be my joke. That had to be the joke of the day. But so I'm just thinking, dude, they've
Nikki-
always fought
Hey,
with
listen,
other bands.
Listen, was Nikki ever fucked up on heroin? Let's ask this. Let's ask that question,
That's
we
true.
can't speak for him.
please.
He
How do you
tells us
write-
what he
Made it all up.
How do
Made it
you
all
write
up.
diaries, bro, when you're fucking fucked up on smack, dude, and remember that shit? And then he says, "Oh, I can't remember if I played bass on the early Motley Crue album." Dude, it's like you're fucked up on smack, but you can write books and remembering shit, but you can't remember if you played the bass. Dude, it's just stay consistent, man. Stay in your lane, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I've read Nikki Sixx's heroin diaries. It's the first sentence says, "I can smell colors."
okay.
I like the 6 a.m. albums. I'm not sorry for liking them.
Enjoy.
But let's
Dude, I
get
like some
into
of
a
their
band.
songs.
Let's get into a band that probably nobody ever knows. I like them. I've always liked them. Leatherwolf warned that fans will run out of bands to follow if the number one criteria is original members, Jerry.
That's actually not a bad point. I mean, it's rare that you see a band that has all original members left after 40, 50 years now. So, not a horrible point. So I kind of get that.
Travis.
Like one more thing.
Okay,
One of my
right.
favorite bands is the Little River Band, and they're scabs. They're all the most. I think they're all American, and they're actually an Australian band.
Damn.
But they go along, not giving those guys any credit or anything, or pretty much erasing their history on the website and all that. But I won't see them because they're a scab. But I can understand why people do it though, man. So you still get to hear the music if you like it. Go see it. Like I said, he's got a point though. If that makes any sense. I think I kind of want a little. Whatever. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you can do what you want, dude. It's your show too.
No.
Yeah. You have creative license, Jerry.
well, no, I'm just saying. It's like what is there? Aerosmith, Iron Maiden. I mean, they both had member changes through the years, but they're all
Def Leppard only changed one member because he
Yeah.
died.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that's good, but what other
That's
bands?
not
can you-
true. That's a lie. They changed
Yeah,
too.
Phil Collins
Oh
changed
yeah, they
that.
changed two members, but Pete Willis, they couldn't help him. So
But it's like it's a good point, like I said, man, because it's rare to find a band that has all their original members. So, got a good point.
well, Aerosmith doesn't have it right now, but Travis. What do you think
How
about
I
that?
feel about scat bands.
Well, Leatherwolf warns
What?
that fans will run out of bands to follow if the number one criteria is original members.
I'm kind of two ways. I have never listened to a single Leatherwolf song, but
Leatherwolf rules, dude. Metal.
when it comes to like, if it's like one replacement member, like if it's the bass player or the rhythm guitar player, whatever. But if it's like the vocalist or the lead guitarist, or if it's just basically Leonard Skinner now, then I have no interest.
All right, Chris, what do you think
Like
about
what
that?
it's like with Foghat
Okay.
too.
I think it really just depends on what the band is. Honestly, I think it's a case by case. I don't think there's a blanket statement here. Like, for example, I think, again, the subject, the honorary subject here tonight is Rush. I think in that case, it would have to be. I can't think off the top of my head what drummer I would be okay with, like, playing with Rush. I think the only way I could ever watch a Rush show again without Neil Peart, for example, would be like if they did like a tribute type of thing where it was a bunch of drummers,
Yeah.
and not one dedicated drummer.
Not Mike Portnoy.
Right, not just the Mike Portnoy show. Right, exactly. Like, or I heard a rumor back when Neil died that he has like a 12-year-old daughter or something that he was teaching how to play, and that she was actually quite good. Now, if it was his daughter that takes over, then that would be fucking sick. Like that would be
rule,
awesome
dude.
shit. So like that would be the type of thing. But like other bands like Styx is almost like a Ship of Theseus situation where there is literally one original member and that's it. And he's only
Chuck
on this,
comes out all the
and he's
shows though.
and he's what? Well, and Chuck, yeah, but he's not. I mean,
he's there every show though.
Yeah, but he's there for like one or two songs. He's
Like
barely there. He's barely there. And then James Young is missing like a lot of shows these days because he's sick or because he's fucking ancient. So like they're almost like they're just having a hard time. But I would be okay with if James Young like next year was like, you know what, guys, I'm done. You guys can keep going, no. And they found, they got that other guy that has been writing a lot of the new songs. And to be honest, they sound more like old Styx with this new guy.
Oh God, that album sucks, dude. Come on, Crash of the Crown.
But I mean, even but I mean, even The Mission, he wrote half The Mission too.
You're talking about Will Ivanovich, right? The new guitar player they got.
Yeah.
I like him. I saw him live. He's really good.
And he wrote The Mission too. Him and Tommy Shaw wrote the majority of The Mission.
I like
so
the Mission
they wrote both of those two albums, and whether or not you like Crash of the Crown or not, you can't deny that it sounds more like old Styx than anything like Cyclorama or Brave New World or anything like that.
I love Cyclorama.
So like I fucking hate that album with every piece of my being.
Oh, I love Kiss Your Ass
and I love Styx. I love Styx so much, but like I fucking hate that album.
I love that album.
There's like 17 songs on that album, and it's 17 songs too long. Like that album is just dog shit on a CD.
You don't like Kiss Your Ass Goodbye or Killing the
I don't like
love?
any single song on that album. Not one fucking song on that album. But anyway, the point that I'm making is that I would be okay.
Brave New World, right?
I would be okay as long as Tommy Shaw's in the band. Like that's the deal. To me, that's the line of delineation for Styx. After that, I think I would be done with them. So I guess my long-winded answer is it depends. It all depends. Like it depends. Kiss can go away as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to see four other guys in the makeup. I'm done with that. Like I'm done with that. If it's not Paul and it's not Gene, I've already let it go with Ace and Peter. If it's not Paul and it's not Gene in the makeup, fucking be done. Rush. Right. Same type of thing, but other bands, Styx, Foreigner, Journey, I could care less. Whatever. The songs are great.
I got tickets to Foreigner with Loverboy, but I want to see Loverboy.
Yeah, sorry, Chris. Me and Mark had a lot of views about Crash of the Crown, man.
Yeah, I've heard.
I love Crash of the Crown, man. It sounds like old Styx.
And I love Styx.
And it's not that long of an album.
They're one of my top 5 bands, man. They really are.
I mean, the mission buries that fucking album.
Oh, it does.
But it's a good album.
It does. The Mission buries it, man. But
We're gonna go see Fat Mike Reno up on stage.
well, he doesn't look that bad. He still sounds good. Al, what do you think about this?
About scat bands, yeah, like I agree with Chris, dude. It's a case by case. There's like some bands that were just pretty much faceless, dude. That you know, a majority of people can't even name like who the original members are anyway. And the way everything's set up nowadays with the masses and everything, 80% of people that go to concerts want to hear the hits. They're not like us. They're not like deep cut people or you know what I mean? So it's like as long as they see like, oh, foreigners playing, dude, don't matter fucking who's even in them anymore, dude. As long as they play the songs. I mean,
Kelly Hansen is really good though, dude.
I like Kelly Hansen, dude. I have no problem with him.
I seen Lou Gramm solo. Kelly Hansen has it over Lou now. So
yeah, but I heard Lou's been sounding pretty good.
he sounded great at the show. I
Didn't
saw.
Lou Gramm nearly die?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he had brain
I mean,
cancer,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah, brain cancer. He's fine.
Yeah.
Give the guy
But
a
hey,
break.
it's a case
I
by
love
case.
Lou Gramm. Lou Gramm's one of my all-time favorite singers.
It's a case by case basis, man. I mean, just there's some bands that are just the personalities are so strong in those bands that taking them out is just completely like it's a no. But like other ones, it's like it's I hate to say it, man, but I mean, Foreigner was kind of a faceless band, dude. Whether you can love Luke, I love Lou Gramm, I love
Mick Jones.
Dude, but like, I mean, nobody fucking had posters of them in their room, dude.
It's the voice.
Dude, they had
It's
the
voice.
poster with them in front of the train, like a live poster of them playing in front
Yeah.
of the train. I used to have that fucking poster. That
All
poster
right, well, you're
fucking
like
ruled.
you're like 0.0001% of fucking people that have
I
that shit.
fucking loved Foreigner. They were my
but I mean,
first. Them and the
right.
Beatles, dude, were my
But
first rock bands.
But you got to hear what Al's saying. I totally understand. It's the same reason why, like, I have never heard this Kelly Hansen who sings for Foreigner. I don't know. Does he sound like Lou Gramm?
He does.
Okay, so it's the same thing with like Journey.
But
like
have
Journey
you
had Journey's
have you ever
had
heard the group Hurricane?
Yes.
That's Kelly Hansen.
Okay. Journey's had two singers since Steve Perry, Steve O'Jerry, and I forget the new guy's name.
Arnell?
Arnell. That's right.
But they had
And-
Jeff Scott
and
Soto in there too.
Yeah, just
Yeah, he didn't do
but that wasn't real. I mean, that was just for a blip on the screen. The point is that those two guys, it wasn't about the face, it was about the sound. They both sounded like Steve Perry.
And Jerry looked like Steve Perry with a huge honker.
And that's the thing. I don't know why Hugo never got brought into that band, but that's a whole different story.
He looks just like him. I think that's the reason why Neil Sean said
Steve and Jerry.
Dude, I saw this band at M3 Festival in May, and like because Extreme wound up canceling on M3 because Nuno blew his knee out, so they had to replace him last minute. And they're like this band Voyager. I guess they're like an '80s cover band, and I'm like, okay, whoever the fuck this is. This guy comes out, and I'm like, is that Steve Perry? Is that fucking Steve Perry? And it turned out to be Hugo. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this is the dude from Valentine. Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, he looks just like Steve Perry, dude.
It's crazy.
Look him up. Look him up.
I did. I saw him in person. I was right there. I was
like, talking to everybody else. Talking about everybody else.
All right, man. Well, let's get to our subject of the show. What's our subject, Jerry?
Oh, I don't know. I forgot. I'm just kidding. We're doing our top 11. Well, not top 11, but we're doing our own personal Rush album, man. 2 sides, side A and side B. And we have some bonus tracks added in at the end. So let's get it going.
All right, let's start with you, Jerry.
Me first? Wow.
Yeah. Well, because I got you in a circle.
All right. Well, my first song is, for my favorite Rush album, the opening track, Show Don't Tell. I love that fucking song. I like how the little fucking, the tom-toms or bongos, whatever the hell it is, and it gives the fucking badass opening riff in that song. I love the meaning. I love the meaning of the song. It took me in from the very first time I heard it, and I love it. So that's my number one.
Right on, Travis.
The drum riff in the middle of that song is incredible too.
Oh my god,
it's one of my favorite drum patterns that Neil's ever done.
I saw that tour 2 days in a row at the LA Forum, dude.
With the bunnies?
Yes. Saw that. And I went with one chick one day, and then I went with one of my friends I grew up with. And I said, watch, everybody's gonna be doing like this. And he goes, no. And then he looks at me and goes, dude, everybody's acting like they're playing drums. Oh, exactly, dude. You're at a Rush show.
Did you
And
see
I
Mr.
think-
Big open up for them?
No, I saw Tommy Shaw.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's still
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, but it
That's the
was
Hold the Fire tour then. That you
yeah, it
saw.
was Hold Your Fire. I didn't
Yeah.
see they didn't have an opening act when I saw them on Presto.
Oh, it
Yeah,
was
they
Mr. Big. It was Mr.
Yeah,
They
with
Big.
Mr.
weren't
Big.
there. They
Now, when I saw them in Miami, they did. It was just
they
them.
didn't.
That's weird.
Wow.
Or unless I got there late for both shows.
You must have because they weren't doing evening with yet. So
Well, that sucks because I love Mr. Big.
Well, I was pretty wasted there. And maybe they did. I don't know. I don't remember.
yeah,
I
that
like
was the,
Mr. Big. I like
that was-
Mr. Big, so I would have remembered that. So
that was the Lean Into It tour. So
Yeah, that was a great
For Mr.
album.
Big, I
Wow, it was the
remember-
first album. First
remember
album.
with
tour.
Oh, first album, yeah.
dude, maybe they did. I don't fucking
they
know.
were still
That's my
playing with the
favorite.
drills though. I remember seeing the drills at that show.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
it was the
did
first
see it.
album though.
But
They only had
Rush
the
just
first album
over.
out.
Maybe I did see them, but I remember drills on a stage, and it wasn't.
They did tour. They did tour with them again after. I think when we Lean Into It, I think they toured with them. They did some shows on the Roll of Bones.
On Roll the
tour,
Bones, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the Roll the Bones tour like 3 times, and I saw Primus once, and I might have seen Mr. Big. I
Yeah.
don't remember, but I saw Primus like
Rush
once or
just
twice.
overshadows everybody. I barely remember Tommy Shaw and the Ambition.
Yeah, no, I saw the
Hey, man.
I saw the
Got a
last
question
tour.
for you.
Oh.
When we saw the Rush Press tour, you remember who it
I love
was? It was
that.
Mr. Big? Dude, how come I don't fucking remember that?
Fucking hilarious.
Because Rush overshadows everybody, Jerry.
Well, I remember the last tour I saw them. It was Counterparts
Oh.
tour that I saw them have an opening band, and it was Candlebox, and they got fucking trashed.
I
I'm
love
doing a show right
Candlebox.
now.
That's why Rush started to get evening with because they didn't like their opening act getting that trashed.
Jerry,
Oh.
Jerry.
All right.
All right,
Get
well,
off
let's
the
go to.
phone,
Well,
shit
Jerry
dick.
already said his number one.
Well, now they're picking on me now. So,
So,
Get
yeah,
off the
it's
phone,
first
All right,
side.
well,
ass fuck.
So, what's
Thanks
your
a lot, man. I
track
appreciate
one
it.
on side one, Travis?
All right, track 1 of side 1 begins with a blazing opener called Bastille Day.
Oh, that's a good one.
Love that tune. Great
Aggressive still, man.
barnstorming riff there, man.
Dude,
Love
the
that.
fucking
Love that
lyrics
song.
on that song. Ugh.
That's a great way to start off an album.
So what are you
That's
doing
a great.
this weekend?
That's a great opener, man. And they opened
All
like
right.
they opened some of those early tours like with that too. You know, like the
All right, let me know.
Yeah.
you know.
All right.
Steel thing. That's great.
So,
Yeah.
Chris, what's
Sure.
your track one on side one?
Dude, I'm gonna start calling Jerry Hollywood Jelly. Jerry, what the fuck, dude? Get off the phone.
Sorry, guys.
Christ almighty.
I'm
Do your
like losing
research
my mind.
online like a
I
normal
have-
person.
No, I have zero fucking memory of Mr. Big opening for them.
Well-
He said we were there the whole fucking show, dude. I'm
That's because you're an old fucker, man. What can I
no
tell
shit,
you?
man. I'm telling you, dude. I'm gonna forget to put my underwear on soon,
All
dude.
right.
What the fuck, man?
All right, so a lot like my Kiss list, I couldn't just pick like 11 songs and be like, oh, these are 11 Russia, because it was either going to be just 11 randos, or I don't know, or I was going to be in an existential crisis trying to pick like 11 songs and just trying to narrow it down. So I struggled on my own right, and what I did is I picked the 11 closers because, in my opinion, nobody closes an album like Rush does. The closers on all of these albums are fucking top tier. Just like, it's like they saved the best for last, and it's like that phrase was created for Rush albums. So with that being said, I tried to I put it into my my Spotify and I listened to it, and this was the best I came up with. The first track of the Rush Closers album will be from 2112, Something for Nothing.
A good track.
Yes, it's a very heavy, blistering, fast. It's got that screamy Geddy Lee voice. It's fucking just a badass song. Just such a good song.
Oh, fuck yeah. My first wife hated 2112. She said, don't play that again. But she liked the 80s Rush. But yeah, that's why she's the ex-wife. She hated 2112.
Oh, yeah.
Al, what's your first track, man?
Well, going much like Chris there, but going the opposite direction. My first track is gonna be if you're gonna go either go big or go home, dude. Just fucking 2112 is gonna be the fucking opener right there, right off the fucking bat, dude.
So
The
Al's
whole
doing a
thing.
double album.
The whole 20 minute opening. You know, just fucking just start it off with fucking with some balls, dude. You know what I mean? So that's my opener, man. I mean, come on, it's fucking.
I can't remember who it was Test for Echo's tour, Roll the Bones. They did that whole fucking thing, and it was awesome.
Oh, it's Test for Echo tour.
That's for Echoes when
Test
they
for
came
Echo,
back and did it. Yeah, it was awesome.
And they did the whole thing, dude. And that was like
Neil Peart solo, man, was fucking intense, dude.
Dude, hearing 2112 and Natural Science on that tour was like complete eargasm, dude.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
Natural
What a
Science.
what a great show that was.
Yeah.
I saw
that
that.
whole evening, the whole evening with man format was like that was just tailor made for them, dude. You know, they needed to do that.
I was a huge stoner at that time, not having a job, watching my grandma with Alzheimer's, so I didn't get to go see shows back. I had the album Test for Echo, and I didn't have the money for it.
I saw that tour 8 times, so I was.
So
I saw every iteration of that set list, and
mind.
it was awesome.
My
Nice.
God.
Yeah,
So then-
2112. That's my first track.
Yeah, so me and Al, like always, 2112. It's like I'm sitting there listening. What can this? When I touch it, it's a guitar. It's a guitar. You know, you're sitting here thinking about it. They're talking about what can I touch it? It gives forth the sound. It's got wires that vibrate and make music. Like this song just goes for blue blue until we have assumed control. It's like a fucking sci-fi masterpiece, man.
Well,
How
let
can
me
you
tell you,
not have this on a fucking Rush album? It has to start it, man, to let you know what you're in for. This fucking whole side one rules.
one of my very favorite Geddy Lee vocal moments is near the end before the finale, when he's just the spirits are low in the depths of this. Like, it's just so fucking killer. Like, it's so emotional, and it's weird because you don't think of Geddy Lee as like this emotional singer, but when like you hear it, you're like, wow, this is so good.
I love that part, man. My life
too.
spills over. You know, it's fucking awesome, dude.
Geddy Lee has a lot of emotion in his voice, or I wouldn't like Rush. I'm just saying he's always had that. He has those inflections where he uses his voice to convey an emotion. I've always heard that in Geddy.
And it's effortless.
Yes.
Effortless.
You don't hear him thinking about it.
He's an oddly underrated singer. He really is. And he writes amazing melodies. I mean, that's really the thing. But
who has the best Rush solo album? My Favorite Headache, man.
Well, yeah, that's true. Have you guys
Alex
listened
License Victor and that new Envy of None is horrible.
Oh, I like Envy of None. I think Envy of None is pretty good.
You do.
I think it's pretty good. I didn't love Victor, but I think Envy of None is pretty good.
But the best is Geddy's My Favorite Headache.
No, that's a great album. But if you're being fair, like just to jaunt off a little bit for a second, My Favorite Headache certainly sounds a lot like an album that would have fit in that period that Neil was gone.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those songs would have fit right between Vapor Trails and Test for Echo, like without question. So
true. So then we get to your number 2, Jerry.
I'm going to stick to Presto. I think there's a theme coming here. Neil said this is one of his favorite songs, and I agree. I think it's one of the best songs. I'm talking about The Pass.
Yeah.
Love that fucking song, dude. Such a fucking heartfelt tune, dude. The lyrics, man, are awesome. Yes. Neil, underrated fucking lyricist, dude. You don't hear him about being a great lyricist, except among you good Rush fans. You know that he is, but
he's the best lyricist ever. I'm sorry.
I can't argue that. I can't argue that. You know, but yeah, what a great fucking song that is, man. You know, that's my number 2.
He writes towards all fans, sci-fi, awesome. This and that.
Awesome pick, Jerry.
Like bullying, it's like everything, man.
Well, so and Travis, also like every album's got a lyrical theme too. Like they're not all concept albums, but they all do have a lyrical theme.
Yeah. So Travis, what's your number 2 on side 1?
So track number 2 is many of Rush's FM hits that I never get sick of. I am going with the title track, The Fly By Night.
Great song.
Yeah.
Yep, just a great little catchy song to kind of be the second song, kind of like how Rock Rock Till You Drop goes into Photograph. Yeah. I love Fly By Night.
Good one, man.
Especially going after the
Steel
to me the benchmark and the official beginning of prog metal with Anthem. But
Yeah.
that's a debate that rages. So that's a
Getty's
wonderful
voice
song.
on that song Anthem was so powerful too.
But like Fly By Night is perfect right after that. Like it's just a great number 2 song. It's a great pick.
So Chris, what's your number 2 on side 1?
My number 2 of the Rush Closers album is one of my all-time favorite songs from any band ever, and that's the closing track from Grace Under Pressure, Between the Wheels. You want to talk about one of those Geddy Lee vocal melody moments. Between the Wheels is just when I saw them do that, I forgot what tour I first saw that. I believe it was R30, sorry. And it was just like, or it might have been Snakes and Arrows. I don't remember. It was around that. I'm losing my recall.
Snakes and Arrows.
Okay, yeah, I'm losing my recall at the moment.
You know,
but like I remember,
I
remember the blue lights that came down, and they came down like spaceships, and it was like so damn cool. And yeah, that was one of my favorite live moments ever. That's always been one of my favorite songs. They just know how to close an album, and to have that song be the last song on that album is just.
And it starts off slow and it just starts going faster and faster.
Oh, and it's so heavy.
It's like, you know how
heavy.
that rabbit feels going under your speeding wheels.
It's such a heavy song, and again, it's so very relevant to what goes on. It's again, it speaks to Neil Peart's like lyrical brilliance. It speaks to what's going on today. It's incredibly relevant to what's happening right now.
You think about windshields towards a fly that he's talking about. It's like, you know how that feels going under speeding wheels. You know, it's like, damn, this guy is like giving me like a story in my head that I'm imagining this car just driving by, just killing all these people.
No, I mean the whole chorus is just like, you know, brother, can you spare another war, another wasteland, and another lost generation? I mean, it's just, and you know, you look at what everything is going on in the world right now. It makes, oh my God, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, history is doomed to repeat itself.
Totally relevant.
Yeah. So Al, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is I thought this was appropriate since 2112 ends with Neil saying, you know, attention all planets Federation, we have assumed control. This song opens up with him saying, as gray traces of dawn, you know, the necromancer. I gotta go with that, man. That's one of my favorite songs on Corrosive Steel. I love that. I mean, that that's a song where lay down at night in the dark, put down on headphones, dude, and it just takes you away into into the forest, bro. And you could just picture the whole story unfolded, you know, as Geddy's singing it. You just, you know, 3 travelers, men of Winnedale, you know, traveling through the forest, and, you know, and it just takes you away from there, dude. I think it's just awesome, man. I'm continuing long songs here, so I mean, my album might end up being a triple album if it's on vinyl. But
I think I went a little slower than you guys.
But yeah, it's the Necromancer number 2, so love that song.
Well, then I get to my number 2, the song that got me into Rush. I could not deny the power of the 2112 suite. So this would actually be my number 1 also, but it's number 2 because the 2112 suite is so fucking awesome. Subdivisions. Like, and you're sitting there listening to lyrics, subdivisions in the high school halls, in the shopping malls. Be cool or be podcast out, right there. So, you know, it's like a great song for like kids who like get bullied and whatever. It's like, I know the struggle, man. I know I'm not cool. I'm gonna be podcast out. But you know, I love fucking subdivisions. I love signals. That's the song that got me into Rush because I felt the lyrics, man. So that's my number 2 on my album. Jerry, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Not Off Presto.
All right.
This is a song that always, the riff just fucking sticks in my head all the time. I hear it for like hours. I mean, Limelight off Moving Pictures, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that riff just sticks in your head. It does not go away for hours, man. probably my favorite riff from Rush actually play. There's another one coming up that I hate Alex Lifeson for writing it because I broke a lot of strings. I had a lot of finger strains trying to figure it out, but we'll get to that song when it comes up. But my number 3 is Limelight off Moving Pictures.
You got to check out that dude from Foo Fighters, Chris Shiflett, his new podcast. I think Shredding with Shifty, I think is the name of it. And Alex was his first guest on there, and they were breaking down the whole Limelight.
That was that Rivers Cuomo one too, right?
Yeah, but I think Rivers was the second episode, but check out Alex, man. It's a great episode. So
it's also there's a guy his name is Rick Beato.
Yeah, I love him, dude. I love Rick.
And he does a whole episode about Limelight, also about how it's possibly one of the most complex pop rock songs, like mainstream rock songs you've ever heard. There is so much going on in that song that like it's just a testament to like Spirit of Radio and Limelight. Because Tom Sawyer's kind of obvious that it's like this proggy, like, you know, crazy. It's got the odd time signature and the whole thing. Limelight and Spirit of Radio really shows it just shows the straight line you can draw through a song and still be hella technical, like crazy technical, and still not put people off, you know, and make them.
I think Rush is the masters of that, man.
Oh, better than anybody by far. It's like not even close. And that song, Limelight, and then the only other thing I have to say about that song is, Alex, like it's one of my favorite guitar solos of all time from anybody. Like that solo is just amazing.
All right, Travis.
Check out Rick Beato's show, dude. The guy breaks down songs.
He's awesome. Yeah, I watch him all the time.
So Travis, what's your number 3?
All right, so I'm going to piggyback off of Jerry and go to Moving Pictures for my next song. I'm going to go with Red Barchetta.
Nice.
I love that tune. One of the greatest driving songs of all time, next to Highway Star.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
all right, Radical.
Red Barchetta. Got it from that box set right there.
Dun, 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 dun. Shifting and drifting. I love that part of the song.
Yeah,
it's just so cool. Love it.
Great live
one
song
of the great
too.
one of the greatest Alex Lifeson guitar solos ever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's like
it's awesome on that song too. I love that song.
Rules.
Well, that's another tough one to determine which one's his best guitar solo, man. Jeez. You have to do a lot of thinking on that one.
I think one of my picks is the best guitar solo he's ever done. But
my next pick has his best guitar solo in my opinion.
Chris, so what's your number 3 on side 1?
So I went heavy, like rock, screamo type stuff with Something for Nothing for number 1. Between the Wheels, a little like down tune heavy. Between the Wheels, number 2. Number 3, we're gonna go straight rock, Led Zeppelin style, Working Man. Number 3 song, closing out the first album. It's classic Rush. It's the only hit on this album that I've created here. It's the only hit song that I put on here, and it's where it all started. It's where it all started.
Charles loves you for that.
I was gonna say that, jerk.
It's where it all started.
But what's your number 3, Al?
My number 3, I'm going with I'm going to the Signals album. I'm going for The Weapon.
The Weapon.
Yeah, The Weapon. The Weapon.
the Weapon.
It's a scary song.
It's a spooky, scary song.
Even the title scares me. It's called The Weapon. Yeah, dude, I gotta go with that one. And ironically, when I won't even say it. Anyway, I love that song. That song, it's the closest I think Rush ever came to being a disco song, dude. Because the beat is like pretty much a 4 on the floor. Like, I mean, the bass drum is constantly like a disco song, like a beat. You know what I'm saying? So I love this song, though, man. I love the synths in it. I love Alex's solo on that. It's really really cool. Like in the middle, like when they it's almost kind of like it harkens back to like almost like 70s Rush in a way, kind of real proggy and shit. Like, I mean, I love Alex's solo, so I love that song. So that's I gotta go. The Weapon is the third song on side one. So
All right. So then
Let's be real. It's the third song on your first record. All right, let's be real. You're going four
Yeah.
sides here, dude.
yeah, I'm gonna have like 3 fucking three vinyls by the time I'm done.
Well, then I go to my number 3 on side one, which I go to the Presto album. I'm going with Scars. You know, scars are pleasure, scars are pain.
Another dancey type song.
Thank you. I love that fucking song. It's just so fucking groovy, man. I love Scars, and I had to put a Presto song on here because I love that fucking album. I was just trying to.
Where did you get that vinyl at? Because I want it. I never could find it cheap.
I found it used, man.
You did?
Yeah,
Gotta
it was
find that
from
shit in the wild.
It was from that righty dude
No.
from Tennessee. You're the guy you don't like.
No, I don't like him, but when he says shit like that, I don't want to give him any business. You know what I mean?
Okay, but he could find shit for you if you ask. He's a good dude.
Well, maybe I'll suck it up then.
Yeah, you should. But Scars is my number 3. Then we get you number 4, Jerry.
I think Travis just mentioned this one actually. I'm gonna go with Fly By Night off Fly By Night. The cool thing about that era of Rush is Geddy's voice still had a rawness to it. You know what I mean? Especially in his high notes, you know. I love those earlier Rush albums. His voice better on those albums. He cleaned up his voice a little bit pretty much after that one, actually. But I love that album and I love that song, dude, man.
You heard 2112? Okay.
Again, Fly By Night is another one of those fucking classic riffs. Jun, 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 just a fucking
his
cool
voice
riff,
was
dude.
raw on 2112, though.
Yeah, he didn't really straighten his voice out and stop doing all that until
Permanent
like
waves.
yeah, like Permanent Waves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you listen to Cygnus X1 at the
Like
end
I
of
said, dude,
Farewell to Kings, that shit's bananas.
We're just trying to learn you, Jerry.
You can tell me what time to go to the bathroom. I mean, that's how much you guys know.
That was 6:25 a.m. Okay.
Well, there's some lore to it because like if you know the backstory, the reason why he stopped doing the ultra high stuff is because on Hemispheres they almost like overdid it to the point where he couldn't record the songs because it was almost too high and they had to like almost had to re-record the shit because they were like I'm having a hard time singing this stuff. Good thing there's only 4 songs.
Yeah.
And one of them was instrumental.
Right. A 10-minute instrumental, yeah.
Yeah, but either way, I just love that tone in his voice on those.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing.
That's good. So then, Travis, what's your number 4?
Well, speaking of instrumentals, my 4th track is my favorite Rush song of all time. Staying with Moving Pictures, I am going with YYZ. That is my favorite. My favorite Rush. My favorite Rush song ever. First song I ever heard from them was playing Guitar Hero 2. That song came on. I felt very uncomfortable. It was like intimidating.
Yeah.
I needed more. I needed more Rush. As soon as I heard YYZ. Greatest Rush song in my opinion. And it deserves to be on my custom Rush album.
I mean, you want to talk about your time signatures.
Yeah, right.
The open of that song is the Morse code for YYZ.
Mm-hmm.
For the airport.
Toronto,
so that shit's
Toronto
crazy.
Airport.
YYZ.
Yeah, the Toronto airport.
Yeah. So
that shit's crazy.
Chris, what's your number 4?
All right, number 4. I'm going by hair metal standards here. And by saying that the 4th song on every hair metal album is what? Who knows? Who knows?
A ballad.
It's usually a ballad, right? It's usually a slow song, and there's only 2 slow songs to close out a Rush album. One of them will show up later, but this one from Presto will show up now, and it's Available Light. And
that's a good one.
This song is so fucking good and so underrated amongst Rush fans that because as someone had mentioned earlier, Presto is an album that it's a hit or miss for Rush fans. They either love it or they hate it. And clearly, if you hate this album, you're not going to stick around till the end. Available Light, like the lyrics are just incredible, great singing performance from Geddy Lee, and just an excellent, just overall start and stop type. It starts off really slow and moody, and then it picks up in the middle, and then it slows down again. It's just a great song. It's a wonderful song.
Great fucking song, man. And then we get to your number 4, Al.
Well, number 4 is going to be, well, the number 3 was The Weapon, which was part 2 of Fear, the Fear trilogy. This is going to be part 3 of Fear trilogy. It's going to be Witch Hunt off of the Great Moving Pictures album.
I fucking love that song.
One of the underdog songs on this album. If you listen to the lyrics, it's so relevant to what's going on today.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
good.
it couldn't be more relevant today than when it was written. You know, I think this is Rush at their most. If Rush was kind of a goth band, this would probably be the most goth song, you know, they written, in my opinion. Like this, just the atmosphere of this song, like when you're listening, especially if you're listening on headphones, man, the atmosphere just puts you like in that fucking scene, man, where it's a witch hunt, you know, they're going after somebody, you know what I mean? But lyrically, it's relevant to so many things that's going on in the world, man. You know, it's just an incredible song. It's funny, man, because like, you know, when I was younger, I was all about side 1 of Moving Pictures. Now it's like I'm all about side 2. You know, side 1's like the burnout side. You know what I mean? Then side 2 is, you know, that's the deep cuts right there, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Witch Hunt, man. That's my number 4 on my album.
Quick to judge, quick to anger, slow to understand. Ignorance and prejudice and fear walk hand in hand. From the fucking grave, that dude is talking about our world. It's amazing. It's amazing. That was 40 years ago. Yep. Incredible. Just what an amazing song.
It's government has always been this way. What's going on with the world, man? It never changes. We're always doomed to repeat it, man.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
And my God, like just the way that like this also speaks to, and this happens a lot when you listen to Rush. It speaks to Neil Peart's like drum writing, like how every verse is slightly different, but it's not him just showing off. He's just like doing something slightly different to move the song in a different direction. Like how the beginning, like the first verse is just that do. Doom, doom. And then like the second verse, he's doing that ticka 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 ta ticka 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 ticka. Like he's just, this song is so layered. It's amazing. And this song was never supposed to be performed live. Like this song was supposed to be like a studio track only. And then later on, when they got more technology and stuff, they were able to do it. And I'm glad I got to see it.
Tour, man.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to see it too, because
I got that on Blu-ray.
Great
also.
Fucking song. What a great song. Good pick, man. Good pick.
Thank you.
Yeah, great pick, Al. That might be coming up later on my list. But I get to my number 4. I go to the Roll the Bones album. And I'm just gonna pick a song that has to do with mortality and stuff that Neil Peart liked to write about a lot. And Ghost of a Chance, man. It's like it's a fucking like you hit or miss in finding somebody to love. It's like, my God, these lyrics are just fucking amazing. You know, a ghost of a chance to find some, you know, it's like, dude, this guy is not a guy who writes ballads, but he writes stuff that could be a ballad. That's fucking just the deep lyrics of this song. So number 4 is my Ghost of a Chance from Roll the Bones.
And he wrote that before he knew anything that was about to happen to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great one.
It's amazing.
Yeah, man.
They played that. I remember. Was it on the Snakes? No.
I saw that on Roll the Bones, and there was one other tour.
Yeah, Roll the Bones, but then they brought it back like later.
It might have been R30.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at it. Hold on.
Yeah. But it was great to hear again.
Yeah, Rush fans are technical, so we have to give you the correct information.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I'm having I'm my recall right now with the tours. I've seen them 20, like I think it was 22 or 23 times, and like I can't remember all of them. I just
so Jerry, where are you ending your album at? 5 or 6?
6.
6. Okay, mine's the 6. Side 1 too. So what's your number 5, Jerry?
My number 5 is a song that it always brings me back to fucking great memories in my life. I'm gonna go with a song called album called Open Fire, and Mark
Hold
will
Your Fire.
appreciate my
Hold Your
Excuse me.
Fire.
Thank you. Mark will appreciate this. Time Stands Still. I love that
Great
song.
song.
I love the fucking guitar intro again, dude. I love Amy Mann. I'm a huge Amy Mann fan. If you haven't heard her solo stuff, check it out. It's amazing.
Oh, she has great albums.
Just a
Tuesday
killer
is
tune,
great.
dude. Fucking great tune, dude.
I love Amy.
Every
Mann
time I hear
better
that song, man.
solo.
Every time I hear that song, man, I just think about times I spent with friends and shit.
The
Wish I could go
Magnolia
back and
soundtrack is amazing.
relive those moments. Wish they were a little longer, shit like that, dude. So it's a great fucking.
Neil Peart was
Memory
always
song.
talking about mortality towards the end, man. He's talking about his own mortality. It's
Well,
fucking awesome.
That was not near the end. That was like in the middle. But that
I know,
song,
but he started talking about that early.
well,
like-
he's always. I mean, every album,
Well, losing it
the
too.
thing. Yeah. I mean, the thing about Neil and Rush in general is that every album had a theme. Every album had a musical theme. Every album had a lyrical theme. Every album had a contextual like even like a visual theme, like in terms of their artwork and the things that represented it. And it was never just one thing. Like Rush was never just like, hey, we're putting music out and that's it. Like
Well,
it was
Hold Your Fire.
everything.
The three balls, the fireballs represented each one of them. So.
Yeah, everything had a meaning to it. It was never just like, we're doing this. This is what we're doing. Like it was never simple. I think that's why Rush fans are so dedicated to the band, because they are dedicated to us. They were always dedicated to making sure that not only did we get great music, but we got great content. We got great. It was incredible.
Great.
I missed them like family. I missed them like
great
family.
Great artwork, great like booklets in the album, great everything, dude. They put quality into everything they did, man. I mean, the tour books were amazing, man. I mean, I made sure I got a tour book every tour because they were some of the best tour books you can get of any band, dude.
I had all mine stolen.
Yeah, they sell for a fortune on eBay, dude. But I'd love to get those.
They sell tour books on Rush.com now.
Yeah,
The old tour books.
they're recreations though.
But it's still a recreation if you want one.
Yeah, I had all mine stolen. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I had the Hold Your Fire one. I don't know what happened to that one. I had the freaking the bandana for Hold Your Fire. I gave that away to somebody. I was stupid, but I should have kept that. But then we get to your number 5, Al.
Me? Am I up?
No, it's Travis.
Oh, okay.
My bad.
So my track 5 will end side 1.
Okay.
I'm going with The Trees from Hemispheres.
Nice.
I love that song, man. Great kind of trippiness a little bit in that one.
Like an avant-garde too, man, with the way they were talking about trees as people. Freaking pretty cool.
It's called a metaphor, Mark. Metaphor.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little wasted. I can't think of the word. You know what I meant.
By the way, side note, it was Snakes and Arrows tour where they played Ghost of a Chance.
Cool. Okay, thanks.
I saw that and I got that on DVD.
They replaced Entre Nous with it.
Oh, that's a great song though.
So like the first half of the tour was Entre Nous, and then Ghost of a Chance was for the second leg.
So what's your number 5 track, Chris?
Oh, it's my turn. I guess this would be the end of.
Are you
my
ending side 1 with 5?
Yeah, I guess I would, because this would be a good closer. It's the closer for Permanent Waves. It's probably the heaviest and most progressive song post Hemispheres, and that would be Natural Science.
Oh,
and
good one.
It might be one of the
Great
most
song.
badass prog metal songs there's ever been. Anybody who says it's not prog metal doesn't know. And I think it's weird because every time you hear Rush talk about Permanent Waves, they're like, yeah, we stopped doing the long form, like really progressive stuff. And I'm like, there's this song on here that's like 8 minutes long and it's fucking insane. Like, did we forget that was on there? because that song is insane. Like, it's crazy. So, yeah, I mean, I know the Camera Eye is on Moving Pictures, which is a 10-minute song, but Camera Eye is nowhere near as proggy and involved as Natural Science. Natural Science is just there are so many metal musicians that I've spoken to that have spoken about how that song has influenced them and stuck with them with just the tech the how technical it is and how just heavy it is. And then the lyrics, I mean, like Devin Townsend covered it and it's crazy. It is crazy what Devin Townsend does with that song. If you have a chance to look it up, I highly recommend it. It's a very good song.
Even Getty in interviews have said like that song is a tough song for them to play live. They keeps them on, definitely keeps them on their toes when they're playing that song.
Yeah,
You know, you gotta be on point with that one. There's
that's
no
a tough
room
one.
for error in
That's
there,
a
really.
that's a hard 7/8. That's like, you know, usually you hear 7/8 and it's like, that's kind of typical, but not that one, man. That's like
Yeah.
like that's. And I'm looking at this Snakes and Arrows set list just because we're talking about Natural Science and then we talked about Witch Hunt. They played those songs back to back on that tour.
Oh, I
That's
saw that
fucking
tour.
bananas, dude. They played Natural Science and then they played Witch Hunt.
Yeah.
What? They played
That-
Armor and Sword too in the same set.
That
Oh
Snakes
my,
and Arrows set list was awesome, man.
oh my God.
was-
Bang and Mission was in this set list. Oh my God. Between the Wheels is in this set list. Digital Man. Oh my God. I want to go back. 2007.
Where's a
Ugh.
time machine at?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
I
Al,
wanna
what's
go
your
back.
number 5?
Well, number 5 is going to close out my side 1, which is
Yeah.
probably side 2 already with our long songs.
You're
and
on
shit.
side 2, bro. Let's be real.
Yeah. But it would close out, and it's going to be Cygnus X1 Book 1.
Oh, I knew
Got
why
it.
you picked that.
Gotta close that out with that one. That's just the fucking. I remember when I was young and I got the album, and I remember listening to it. And I remember that song, the intro to that song, and everything scared the shit out of me, dude. I mean, it was like pretty fucking haunting, man. You know, with like, you know, with the robotic voice and just the futuristic sound of it, man. And then Getty's bass, like in the background, comes to the forefront, man. You know, it's really, really cool how they come into the song. So yeah, man, I gotta and then like Chris was saying, yeah, the scream at the end, bro, was pretty fucking blood curdling.
Oh,
You know.
amazing.
How he didn't hurt his voice after that, I'm sure he did.
The end of that song is so frantic, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So that I think that's a perfect closer to my side 1, whatever you want to call it. So sing this X1 Book 1.
And that punchy ass bass at the beginning, like you said, man, that's like.
But I love how I love it how it starts out like in a distance and then slowly like comes into the mix, like into the forefront of the mix, you know. And when they played that on the last tour, the R40 tour, man, it was just fucking, it was insane, man. I loved it, you know.
And for those who are Coheed and Cambria fans, and if you are a big Coheed and Cambria fan, Mark, there's a song that they do on 4, just to give you an idea of the actual influence. In Cygnus X1, there's the part where in the middle of Cygnus X1, they break into that super melodic part. I set a course just east of Lyra, like that whole thing. Coheed and Cambria does something almost exactly the same in one of their like epic tunes on Fear Through the Eyes of Madness, Coheed and Cambria 4, that album. So, and I could send it to you. I can't really get into it now, but there's a part in that song where he's like, Jesse, bad boy. Like, and it's just like the same thing. Like they went from this real heavy, like prog stuff to this like super melodic thing. And I'm like, well, that's a Rush. That's a Rush influence right there if I've ever heard one. So anyway, since it came up, I figured this would be a good time.
All right, man.
Cool.
So then I get to my number 5, which Al already picked, Witch Hunt. Fucking great fucking song. I probably saw it on the Snakes and Arrows tour. I saw that Irvine Meadows amphitheater, which is no longer there. It was great. And then I saw it again with the Time Machine tour, which is fucking awesome. The Camera Eye was amazing. But Witch Hunt, and that doesn't close my side 1. I'm going with 6. I think Jerry, you're going with side 6 on side 1, right?
I always do it that way. But I'm gonna take a song off the Permanent Roads album.
Permanent Waves.
Permanent Roads. You
What
made
is
me
this,
think of
it's like a Bon Jovi album.
Permanent Roads.
Like I said earlier,
These
man,
roads.
this song fucking hurt my hand so bad, and I fucking broke so many strings trying to learn it. There's actually 3 cool ways to play it on guitar, but my fingers are so freaking fat I can't move as fast. But Spirit of the Radio, one of the all-time fucking best riffs in guitar history, which is Rush has quite a few actually, but man, what a fucking lick that is, dude. And that's just the opening lick, how great that song is, dude. I mean, fucking, a staple on the radio. I never get tired of it. I know it's not like a deep cut like you guys like to do, but man, I love that fucking song.
Oh man, somebody's got to bring the hits. So
that's how I'm closing it out, dude. So anyway, dude, thank you for the arthritis, Alex. Appreciate it, man.
he can identify.
Dude, he goes from progressive to rock to reggae. Come on.
It's got about everything. Yeah.
Oh, that was her Police influence, though, I think.
I didn't even think that was an actual guitar at first when I first heard it.
No, the Police influence comes on Moving Pictures. The first real indication for me that you hear the Police influence is in Vital Signs. Like, to me, that was the first real, like, and that's one of the things I love about Rush is that they had no problem saying that. Like, they said in interviews back in the day, yeah, we've been listening to the Police and Max Webster and whatever was going on in the day, and they had no problem drawing on that.
Well, I will say that the Spirit of Radio, the reggae part, is a Police influence, because if you go back and you look at, there's an interview from the time that when they were releasing Permanent Waves where they were asked, what are you guys listening to? And Neil was like, I'm listening to a lot of Police, things like that. So
all right,
that it came into that song already. So that the influence was already creeping up into that song, and then into Moving Pictures, especially Signals. Shit, Signals could be that's Police like all the way, dude.
Oh yeah,
that's what I said. I said the Police were on Spirit of the Radio. That was an influence on that.
Yeah,
song.
no, that's fair.
Yeah,
I didn't know that interview was that for. I've seen that interview. I just thought it was from later on. From
where Alex puts on that green mask, like they're fucking around. And shit. That was when Permanent Waves was released.
Okay.
So
I thought that was Moving Pictures. Okay.
Yeah, but
fair enough.
Yeah, like Spirit of the Radio, man. There's so many kick-ass changes in that song, dude. They're just incredible.
Yeah.
I love that song, man.
Well, that's another one of those songs that's highly technical without being like, what is going on? Like, there's so much happening here. Like, it's not off-putting at all. To regular people, normies.
So Travis, did you end yours with 5, or are you ending your side one with 6?
I'm starting side 2 off with 6.
Okay, so side 2 for you.
I am going with my favorite track from Signals, Countdown.
Ooh.
I love me some Countdown. Great track.
That's a dark horse, man. Like, a lot of people don't name that one, but
I would have picked that, but I was thinking about you, Al.
Me? No.
Yeah, you would have picked Countdown.
Well, I
Who knows?
I think knowing the subject of my my list, that's probably going to show up on my list somewhere at some point.
You too, man. You too, yeah.
I was toying with putting the Analog Kid instead, but I decided to go with Countdown.
That fucking song is awesome. I mean, both those songs are awesome.
It is.
So.
It's a great album.
By the way, Travis, I wanted to point out, so I've seen so many. So the one criticism I have about Rush is that their shirts kind of suck in general. and not because like their designs are okay. I'm just tired of the Starman, and like that's the whole thing. And I'm also kind of tired of the Fly By Night because that's always the shirt, it seems. But yours is different than anyone I've seen. So I appreciate your shirt. I think that's pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it on.
And I get ripped off for having a fucking knockoff shirt.
Yeah, the Starman
I got this from liquidblue.com.
Nice. Cool. I have to
liquidblue.com.
look that up. Yeah, because like even like Mark's wearing a Rush tour shirt, and I don't particularly like that shirt. Like I like the fact that it's a tour shirt. I think that's cool.
I
But
had
I
a
never
better one with the album cover of snakes and arrows
Yeah,
on
I
it
don't
that my
like the
wife
album
took.
cover either. The last
I love
time I
that album
liked
cover.
Rush shirts was for Counterparts. Honestly, the
Oh.
Counterpart artwork is so fucking good, and I like the artwork in the albums. It's just they never translated to shirts for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It's very weird to me considering all
I
of
like
their
the
other.
guy with the fireballs on the Hold Your Fire one. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, but that was before Counterpart, so that was okay.
Yeah.
See, but that's why I'm saying like Rush always has a very good aesthetic thing, but their shirts always seem to be lacking, especially in the last few years. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
All right.
So-
So we get to your number one on side one, side two, Chris.
Oh, it is my turn.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, perfect beginning actually. Jeez, I planned this. I didn't even think about like side breaks. So, probably if I was ever going to go and put myself through the existential crisis of picking a favorite Rush album, this one would definitely vie for my favorite Rush album, and that would be Power Windows. And the song that closes that one is Mystic Rhythms. What an like fantastic drum beginning. Signature Neil Peart drum beginning. Love this song so much. Just very atmospheric. It's not like exciting, but it builds a lot of excitement as it goes because it has an atmosphere of like kind of a darkness to it. And I find it interesting because as with all things that I find remarkable with Rush closing songs, it always seems to point to the next album, like to where they're headed, which is interesting to me because every album always has its own, like I said before, its own theme. Like Neil and Geddy have both specifically said that every album kind of has its own theme, and they don't ever like kind of carry the same theme from album to album. But like with this one, like you listen to the end of Power Windows and the beginning of Hold Your Fire, and it's kind of like they're definitely moving towards a more keyboard oriented thing and a more, and it's just, I don't know. It just flows right in. Like it seems like Mystic Rhythms could be on Hold Your Fire, but not quite. It kind of sounds like it would be off. So Mystic Rhythms is my pick for track one, side B.
What's your track one, side B, Al?
Well, much like Sign Sex 1, Book 1 ended side 1, Hemispheres Book 2 opens up my side 2.
Nice.
As you can see, is the theme of my album, man. It's a lot about the epics, dude. With a little bit of the shorter songs sprinkled in. But I mean, when you have Book 1, you gotta follow it up with Book 2, in my opinion, dude. You gotta continue that journey. So yeah, dude. I mean, like Chris said earlier, man, when they wrote this album, they wrote it in a key that was very taxing on Geddy's vocals. This was a very difficult album for them to record, and by the time they were done recording, they were like, "We're through with fucking we've taken this prog thing to like the limit," which I mean, not really, because like you said, Permanent Waves has Jacob's Ladder and Natural Science. So it's like they continued the prog stuff, but just a little bit shorter into like going from 20-minute songs to 10-minute songs. You know what I mean? So, but this is a 20-minute epic here, and this is probably one of my favorite epics by them. I love all the epics. So, I mean, this might not be the end of the epics. So that's opening my side 2 is Hemispheres, side 1, Book 2.
We can walk our road together. I fucking love that song. So
Yeah.
good.
And then I get to,
Yeah,
I'm ending my side 1 with track 6, and I'm going to start with Grace Under Pressure, The Enemy Within. I just love that fucking bass line. Fucking Geddy just kicking ass, and he's not gonna security under pressure. I'm not missing out to the powers.
Some more police influence on that one too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's fucking great. Yeah, it's kind of like it has that boom, 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 boom that the police had.
Well, it's also got. I mean, Alex Life's. You can hear it in the guitar a lot. A lot of the upstrumming.
Yeah.
And
And he says in that interview recently with Chris Shiflett that he loves Andy Summers. He
Oh
was
yeah.
influenced a lot by him. So
Nice. And then we get to your track 1 on side 2, Jerry.
it's probably
All
track.
right,
Is it track 1 or track?
I'm on track 1.
You're on
Okay.
track 1 now.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with something off the Taking Pictures album.
Taking pictures. He's doing this on purpose. He ain't
It's-
just
Now he's
stuff,
doing
people.
it. Now he's fucking with us. Now
He's
I
fucking
got
with
us.
you
I
now,
get
you
it now.
motherfucker.
A trendy pick, but you cannot deny the fucking, the power and the success of this song. I'm sure none of you guys picked it because you guys are fuck the hits. But Tom Sawyer, dude. I mean, you cannot, deny
Huck
that.
Finn? You mean Huckleberry Finn? Get it
Yeah,
right.
that's it. You cannot deny the freaking impact of that tune to this day, man. If you're in a car long enough, listen to a classic rock station, you will hear this song. I guarantee it. Just like cool. I just love how it starts out with the fucking keyboard, the drums, and that keyboard sustaining through the drum. Just fucking badass rootin' tune, dude. I love it, man. So that's my side 2 up there. Excuse me.
I'm Geddy Lee. I can do what I want.
It's
I'll
probably
wear whatever I want.
I do what I
Okay,
want.
let me ask you guys a question. Speaking of Tom Sawyer, do you think that they had any backstage musicians?
No.
Like when Getty's playing the keys, or
No.
there's no bass player in the
They
back?
brought-
does,
they have
Getty does
background
they
everything.
trigger everything themselves.
No, I get that. He does play the bass on the keyboard sometimes as well. But
Bass
there's
pedals.
some I've seen them live, man. There's just, I don't know, dude. There's some stuff that I cannot see how they're pulling it off.
Bass pedals. So there's
That's a good point.
so
Chris, no.
Getty and Alex both have pedals. Neil's also triggering shit. Like it's only them three. They've said on numerous, it would be the biggest scandal in rock history if all of a sudden you found out like there was some shenanigans going on, because those, like they've said on numerous occasions that they purposely did not write shit that they couldn't do live unless, except for one track per album that they would dedicate to like studio stuff only. So after a certain point, their goal was to, Neil Peart's always said that they were a live working band. Their goal was always to do stuff that they can do live themselves. It was never about anything other than that. So,
all right, just wanted to pass it by you guys, see what you guys thought of that. I hear that a lot.
Even, there's been times that even there's like a background Getty vocal that he'll trigger and while he's singing over, like to give kind of a harmony part.
Yep.
It's his vocal, but he's triggering it.
Yep.
So
I mean, he'll be the first person to say that he's not like this great piano player, but like he'll hit the button, like it may be one key on the piano, like all that stuff in Force 10 or all that stuff in like Turn the Page, like the Hold Your Fire stuff.
Well, they did use Amy Mann's recorded vocals though. On the keyboard, he go times, but he play her voice on the keyboard.
No, he would just hit it. Like it would just be one hit, but
he
was triggering it. He was triggering it. Like it wasn't someone else in the back at the board or whatever. He was definitely triggering it. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they've made it a point to say that on multiple occasions. So I can't imagine that they're that duplicitous all these years to be able to pull that off with everything that's going on and everybody else getting caught doing everything they've done over the past 10 years. There's no way that they wouldn't have gotten caught at some point.
Yeah, I mean, somebody probably. I just wanted to bring it up. I mean, somebody would have broken that story, but that's what I would.
To quote Getty, he said, "In the spirit of performance, they like triggering everything themselves because they feel that it's still them playing it. They don't have somebody in the back. They have their tech in the back when it used to be like before laptops on stuff or like digital." They used to have to load the trigger into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
It was used to be, in the 80s, everything was on disk. So they had to load the disk into the computer. They had people doing that for them, but to physically trigger it, they would do it themselves from the stage because they wanted in the spirit of performance, they wanted to do it themselves. So that's what Eddie said.
Clockwork Angels tour, they had a string orchestra behind them.
Well, yeah, that's the first time they really brought like people out with them, which was cool,
Very, very cool. Incredible.
And by the way, Jerry, you should have called it Still Pictures.
Okay. I'm doing this on the fly, man.
I'm just kidding.
I got some pretty good ones. I got some pretty good ones coming up. Then so
moving Polaroids.
So Travis,
on the Tom. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Travis, but on the Tom Sawyer note, just real on the Tom Sawyer note, real quick though. You know it's a fucking good song when the guys in the band, again, like you had said about Natural Science earlier, I think it was Al that said Tom Sawyer is the song that they've played the most, like in their entire career. And Neil was like, that song's still a bitch to play, like to the day he stopped playing it. Like he said, it was very difficult to play, and he was always happy when he played it right.
Oh, that last fucking drum roll he did, and this song is just, amazing, dude.
I think besides "In the Air Tonight," that's probably the most air drum song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking just amazing.
And as someone who has dabbled in playing drums, I can honestly tell you that it may not sound that hard because you've heard it 100 times. It is. It is that hard. It just is. Even the basic
Neil Peart said that was the hardest drum part he ever wrote for himself.
Yeah, that shit is not easy.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing is going back to the most times ever heard or played or whatever. Out of all of my favorite bands, Queen, Kiss, Styx, Rush, even Frank Zappa, there are songs that I can do without for the rest of my fucking life because I've heard them so many times. Rock and Roll All Night, another one, Bites the Dust, We Will Rock You, Come Sail Away. Like these are all songs that I could probably never hear again and go, okay, cool. Tom Sawyer, not one of them. I can hear this song every time it comes on. I'm like, turn that shit up. Like, let's do it. So that's just how good that song is.
Yeah.
So Travis, what's your number 2 on side B?
First off, I adore Tom Sawyer. I wish like Hollywood movies would stop thinking that's the only Rush song ever.
Oh God, yeah.
that's how they fucking play in every damn movie with the song, with a Rush song in it. How about I think I'm going bald, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways,
I think I am.
all right. Side 2, track 2. It's a FN staple, Free Will. Love that song to death. One of the most unique kind of breakdowns where you hear the bass rumble and then the guitar solo starts. It's one of the coolest breakdowns ever. I love Free Will.
Do you know when you listen to that song during that breakdown, all 3 of those guys are doing 3 completely different things.
Exactly.
And yet,
it's so cool.
And yet somehow it stays and then they all just come back together. And it's just a landmark of what they are as musicians. They're just incredible.
Yeah. So then we get to your track to Chris.
Actually, incidentally, I want to go back to Travis for one moment. If you bring
Sure.
Travis up, he's got Alex Lifeson's camel toe over his right shoulder there. So.
Oh, wait a second.
They definitely weren't known. They definitely weren't known for their look.
I don't know what you're looking at. I was kind of ignoring.
You're not going to see them on Team Bot.
Something that's so famous that Dave Grohl made a joke about it in the induction speech for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when he said you could find that on cameltoe.org.
Yeah, that was funny, man.
Blah blah blah. Blah blah
blah blah blah blah blah.
That's a cover of Tiger Beat right there, man.
There it is.
So there's a great meme of that where it's that picture and it's says Saturday Night Fever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My number 2, side 2 is it came up once in a discussion, but it's to me the first few fully obvious Police influence, and that's the closer on Moving Pictures, Vital Signs. Yeah. And this goes back to what I had said before, how Rush kind of telegraphed their next move, kind of said that this is what we're going to do next, with Signals being the next album and all the Police influence all over that album, with Vital Signs being the last song on Moving Pictures. It's kind of a weird outlier compared to the rest of the album. So it's an interesting transition. It was like, hey, this is where we're going to be going. So almost like a sneak preview of what the next album is going to sound like. So yeah. Vital Signs.
Yeah, Vital Signs would have fit right onto Signals, man. It would have
Yeah,
fit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I got a question. I love Moving Pictures. Probably my second favorite Rush album. Vital Signs is probably my least favorite on there. I just like what I'm not a big fan of the song. I want to be a fan of it. Maybe it
Do you
takes
like
like a
new
few more
wave?
listens. Not really. Not
That's
too
why
much.
you don't like it. That's
I
a
mean,
new
I
wave
like
song.
I like Blondie and I like Talking Heads and stuff like that. But
Well, that's not like the new wave Rush was doing. No, they were doing like the
Okay.
Police and stuff like
But-
that.
Yeah, the thing about Vital Signs is it doesn't. I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't fit on that album because it does. The production it fits, and the general theme of the song fits. But from a musical standpoint, it comes after Witch Hunt, I believe, on the record.
yeah.
And it's a weird shift. It's an odd tonal shift, especially when you're looking at side 2, which is like Camera Eye, Witch Hunt. You know, it's an odd shift. So I could see where it might be off-putting. Maybe listen to it separate from the album, like just listen to it straight. Listen to it with Signals, see what happens.
I will. Maybe
that
it'll
might
grow
help.
on me. And you know
Yeah.
what? I have a song coming up that I felt should have closed Moving Pictures. So
There you go. There you
All
go.
right, Al. So what's your number 2 side?
There's even a lyric in that song that says "Signals get crossed." How much more?
Yeah, there you go. I didn't even think
how
about
much?
that.
How much more foreshadowing can you do that?
Yeah.
Right.
know?
Yeah, there you go. Good point.
My number was it song 2 on side 2.
Yeah.
The introduction of Neil Peart into the band Anthem. I mean,
Nice.
oh
shit,
yeah.
what a way to introduce him, man. I mean, just phenomenal. I mean, and just that was that song. I mean, I believe when Neil auditioned, that was the ideas that Alex and Getty were having at the time. They had kind of written that song in its infancy, and they jammed on that, and ended up becoming Anthem. And then Neil's Ayn Rand influence, early on in the 70s stuff. He was really influenced by her writing. So and Ayn Rand has a book called Anthem. So anyway, he kind of disowned that influence later on, but it's all over the 70s stuff up until at least 2112. So Anthem's gonna be my number 2, man. What a fucking vicious opener to Fly By Night. I love that. I love that song, dude. So
The true beginning of prog metal.
Yeah.
well, I always call 2112 like kind of ground zero of like prog metal. I know they did it beforehand with Caress of Steel, but when you ask like prog metal bands, like 2112 is always comes up as an influence. To me, that's when like prog metal was born. You could trace it back to Caress of Steel and Fly By Night, but really 2112 is when all that really kind of came together, in my opinion. Or the idea of prog metal, because they were metallic in the 70s, dude. I mean, metal nowadays is a different beast than it was, but they were, man. They were heavy when they wanted to be. You know what I mean?
To me, that opening riff, the scream, that scream, like that's a metal scream.
Yeah.
That's the infancy of that like metal scream, that that metal scream thing. Like that's where it starts, man. And I mean, yeah, of course, I think 2112 is the full fleshing out of what prog metal is. But when you're looking at infancy, I would never call Rush a prog metal band. I would say that they gave birth to it. They planted the seeds to it. Just like, if you listen to even the heaviest Black Sabbath back in the day, it sounds more like, I don't know, like space rock to a degree than it does like metal today. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it wasn't called metal back then either.
No,
so
of course not. Of course
that
not.
term wasn't even invented yet.
Well, prog rock wasn't called prog rock back then either. Like, it wasn't until a little later on that people were like, what is this? It's very progressive. Oh, what? That sounds cool. Let's call it that.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm glad you mentioned space rock because I've been jamming some Hawkwind today. Love me some Hawk.
They're great, man.
Yeah.
And so then
Hawkwind rules, dude.
Hawkwind, fucking, that's Gus G, right? No,
No,
Hawkwind
Lemmy,
is
dude. That was
Lemmy.
Lemmy's
oh
first
Lemmy.
band.
That's right. I'm sorry. I got mixed up. I'm thinking of someone else.
So
Get
that was your number 2 on side 2, Al?
Correct, yes.
Yeah,
And
Hawkwind. Oh no, sorry. What?
Not Hawkwind. All right, then I get to my
off
number
of
1 on
the off of the Fly by Day album.
Fly by day, fly by afternoon.
Fucking great record right there, brother.
Land by morning.
Walk
So
by
off of Smoke Vapors or Vapor Trails, I picked because man, I was so looking forward to this album coming out because they were like in transition. They didn't know they're going to get back together, and I got to see this concert. It was awesome to see them back on stage after years of not, because Neil Peart lost his
What
family.
a great show too. Jeez.
And this song, it's like when you hear Neil explain Ghost Rider, it's like this is what he was doing in between those last Rush albums and getting back together. He was just driving around North America, like whatever. He was like out of his, like just like taking in the North American beauty, and he was like a Ghost Rider. I fucking love this song, man. Fucking great fucking personal song. I feel what Neil was doing in the song, and this will start my side 2.
Yeah, that the crime about that friggin' album is the production on that album is
Remix is great.
it's okay, but it's still dog shit. Like compared to the rest of the Rush catalog, it's the album's great. I love the album. It's got one of the few Rush songs that I don't love. Stars Shine Down is a song that I don't love.
Secret Touch too.
I love that song. That song's fucking incredible.
Oh,
But yeah, Ghost Rider is incredible.
Yeah, so Jerry. Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just again, I'm looking at the set list for that tour because you said the show, and the show is just so fucking like so amazing. I remember that show, and the stage show was incredible and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys something, fellow Rush fans. Maybe not Jerry, because I don't know if he's this deep cut, but this was the first show that they did an acoustic thing, which was mind numbing to me. I can't even believe that that's something that they would ever do. And then they came out and did Resist, acoustic. So which do you guys prefer, acoustic or studio version? Test for
I like
Echo.
acoustic better. And I'm not
Al.
really big acoustic fan.
I really don't know, dude. I would say I like the studio version better.
Travis?
To me, I don't
go
know.
ahead.
Full unplugged with Rush, and then the acoustic one was cool to break it up a little bit. But I don't know, man. You know, I don't see them doing a whole acoustic. Like I don't know. I like the album version better.
No.
This is my opinion. So
Right on. I agree.
Yeah, me too. Jerry, do you know that song or no?
I know the song, but I'm not really 100%, into thinking which version's better.
Gotcha.
I'm an acoustic guy. I love acoustic music, so I'd probably have to go with the acoustic version of it.
I
know the song.
The title track off Presto is really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
But yeah, like I said, I love acoustic music, so I go.
That's acoustic.
It's not an acoustic song.
It starts off acoustic though.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
I
not.
mean,
No, it's not. Come on, man. It's
But
not an
they
acoustic
mixed
song.
it in.
There's a lot of acoustic in that song. If you break it down, listen to it, you hear acoustic all through the song.
Yeah, of course. That happens a lot. It's called layering. That happens all
No,
the
I
time.
know that. That's what I'm saying. I love the sound of an acoustic guitar.
Yes, I get
That's
you.
what
man,
I'm
but
saying.
God damn.
So what's your number 1, Jerry?
Fuck.
Side 2.
Number 1.
Side 2.
But we're way.
Oh,
back.
number
off
2.
the-
I mean, number 2.
Off the Illicit Photos album again.
Illicit
Nice.
Photos.
Travis mentioned it, man. It's fucking another cool, fun song to play on guitar. Probably harder than hell on drums, but YYZ. I mean, you got to include that fucking song. Neil Peart fucking rules. Again, another banger of a song to try to learn how to play, man. You can say that with a lot of their songs. They're not exactly your, Motley Crue type riffs. You know what I mean? Jun 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 through a song. But yeah, I have to include that song on my list. I had a hard time placing that song, though, man. Where would you place an instrumental like that on an album?
What was the song again?
YYZ.
Oh,
In the middle.
I mean, they put it number 3.
Yeah.
This was actually really hard to, what do you call that? See how they work into the next one for me. So, well, I don't know the deep tracks that you guys know. Obviously, that's probably why. But yeah,
Well,
I had
we'll
to put
see.
that one on there.
We'll have to see. All right.
Yeah, and then Travis, what's your number 3 on side 2?
All right, my number 3 is a nice, good deep track from Fly By Night, Beneath, Between, and Behind.
Oh,
Oh,
one of my
wow.
favorite songs, man.
That's
Nice. This guy fucking
that song kicks ass.
dude's a fucking home run hitter right here. Love it. He's just knocking him out of the park. One of my favorite songs. Exit Stage Left version is so dope. Love that song.
Oh, wow.
And it kills me to leave Bytor and the Snow Dog off of here, but
Oh,
I
good.
have, but I love Bytor, but goody.
It kills me that I never got to see that song live. I never got to see that song live.
Talk about a drum roll in that song. It's just
Wait, Chris, you didn't see the Vapor Trails tour?
They didn't play that on Vapor Trails.
Yes, they did.
No, between.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Bytor for a second.
No. I
Okay.
saw
I played
Bytor.
Yeah. Sorry,
No,
Travis,
I've
go
never
ahead,
seen.
man.
No, they
Sorry.
haven't played Beneath, Between, Behind, and since like probably Exit Stage Left.
Yeah, Travis, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you there.
Yeah, sorry. Dude.
Oh, it's okay. I'm just gushing about Bytor.
Yeah, you didn't pick it.
I know.
That's why
it kills
that's
me.
That's why I went goody.
It kills me. It kills me.
Goody.
I like it when he goes, but Snow Dog is victorious.
All right, man.
That sounded terrible.
So, Chris, what was your third one on side 2? We're all
Number
bad
3.
singers, man. I think
Number
Chris
3.
sings better than I do.
I am not a bad singer. I am a very good singer.
Enjoy.
My number 3 on side 2 is Countdown from Signals, the closer of Signals.
Right on.
And I can honestly say that the most intriguing part, first off, I love the bass line on this song. The bass line on this song is incredible. I love all the sound effects and all that stuff that builds up the atmosphere. But again, another brilliant lyrical job by Neil Peart on this one. I got to see a live shuttle launch in Florida. I was on vacation for my 12th birthday. And on my 12th birthday, the first shuttle, Discovery, after the Challenger disaster in '86, launched. And I got to see this. And I can honestly say that, like, I feel Neil Peart's lyrics on this song, like, to my core. Like, every time I hear that song, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking right, man. Like the whole thing, like the how the spectators gathered and the cars drove by, and like behind you there were cars driving by, but you're like at this fence and you're watching, and then the humid air, the humid motionless mass, and oh, it's so fucking good, dude. It paints a picture, like, you hear about like how Bruce Springsteen's a storyteller, and these other guys they're storytellers and rock musicians are not, but like Neil Peart's a storyteller, man. Like,
he
not
paints
only
a
does
painting, though. He paints
it's
a painting
incredible
in your head.
It's incredible, and Countdown is one of the most vivid examples of that. So
a great pick. Al, what's your number 3 on side 2?
My number 3 is going to be the quote unquote, radio hit probably, but it's one of my favorite songs. When I even attempted to play it in a band that I was in, Free Will.
Yes.
I mean, the song is so hooky, and then it's got the fucking free jazzy part in the middle where everybody's soloing differently, like Chris said before. It's like, and yet in Rush style it works, you know what I mean? But and then fucking Geddy comes back in with the vocal, each of us, it's so high that when he sang it live and he got through that lyric, people would actually cheer that he got through that part, man, because it's so high. It's one of the highest, vocal parts he's probably ever sang. It's definitely up there. Each of us, a cell of awareness. I'm not even going to try to imitate his voice, but I remember, when he would sing that in Free Will, and after he sang that, people would be like, "Yeah," like he nailed it and shit, and I don't know. I love this song so much. I don't have any burnout factor with that song at all. With as many times as I've ever heard it, it's still, Rush is one of those bands where like, and you could hear a song 1,000 times, and each time you hear it, you can always pick up a little something like you never heard or something. It's like the layering that they all done. Just keeps it fresh all the time. So, Free Will is my number 3 side 2. So I got to go with that one.
The only song that I even get remotely like tired of out of like the radio songs is Closer to the Heart. That's the only one. And I don't even really, but sometimes like I would never go for it. Like I would never just put it on purpose. So, but that's the only one. All the other radio hits or whatever, yeah, they're fucking spot all the time.
Yeah. All right, man. So then I go to my number 2 on side 2 from their last album, Clockwork Angels, and the epic. I think
we're on 3.
Well, I'm on 2 because I'm behind you guys. Because my side 1 was 6.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, so my number 2 on side 2 is Headlong Flight. And I think me and Chris gushed about this on the Freeform Rock podcast when we reviewed this album. This is a fucking great epic, man. I fucking love it. I think this showed Rush, man. Look, man, we could fucking kick ass. Look at this shit. We're just playing fucking all these fucking triplets or whatever we're doing in this song. The break is fucking amazing. So I got to put this on my track too, on side 2.
Listen, first off, live when they put like 3 drum solos in the middle of the song, that's number 1. Number 2, and I'll probably expand on this a little more later on, but I can't say which is my favorite Rush album, but I can say that Clockwork Angels is the perfect Rush album across the board. It's got literally everything that Rush has ever done in their career, in my opinion, from the slow stuff to the technical stuff to the epic songs, everything. It's got everything from soup to nuts. It is the perfect place to start a Rush fan, in my opinion. If you've never heard, if you got someone who's never heard Rush, put on Clockwork Angels and go, if you don't like this, you're not going to like this band. It's that simple.
Exactly. But Jerry, so what's your number 3 on side 2?
Oh, right on time to what Chris said a couple of comments ago. I love this song. To me, this song has everything for every type of fan of Rush. The diehard fans, the novice fans, the casual listening fans. Farewell to Burger Kings. Closer to the Heart, dude. I'm sorry, I love that song, man. And
yeah, it's a great song.
And like I said, it's got everything. It's got everything that any type of Rush fan will like. I mean, it's got everything, in my opinion, to satisfy every Rush fan. So, fun song to play on guitar too. Pretty easy, actually. But yeah, that's my number 3 on side 2.
You mean Hello to Queens?
Oh shit! Yeah, I fucked up. Yeah.
Good day to Queens.
Farewell to Burger King.
So Travis, you're on number 4, right? On side 2.
Let me see here. Yes. Wait a second. Yes, I am.
You're on 4.
Yeah, you're on 4.
I'm on 4. So I'm going to Snakes and Arrows for this one. I'm going with Working Them Angels.
Oh, fuck yeah, I love that song.
Another amazing tune. I love that. All right. And I love the live version, the live version too. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I like that acoustic break in the song.
The mandolin.
I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Neil Peart got the idea from that song when he saw an old couple fight. And I think the wife told her husband, "You're working them angels overtime." I heard that story from Neil.
I just think it's a cool kind of road trip kind of song. It kind of feels like you're on a long distant road trip when you hear that tune. That's how I feel.
The great one. I like that one.
The masterpiece. Thank you.
It is. Exactly. Chris, so what's your number 4?
So Counterparts is an album that's super, super important to me. I was 17 years old when it came out. And every song speaks to me on a level. And the closing song on that album is Everyday Glory. And to this day, I now want to, like, I impress this upon my children. Like, this is a song, like, there's a verse, like, it's the last, like, I guess you would call it the bridge. It's not even really a verse, but it says, if the future's looking dark, we're the ones that have to shine. If there's no one in control, we're the ones who draw the line. Though we live in trying times, we're the ones who have to try. Though we know that time has wings, we're the ones who have to fly. It's everything. It is literally everything. And I was like learning about my life and what, like, learning as an adult, like in the past 5 years that I'm autistic, and learning 12 years ago that I had bipolar disorder, and all of the, like, emotional and mental anguish that I went through as a teenager because I had these things and didn't know it. This is the type of shit that carried me through. Like, this was the type of stuff, the songs like this, like, I can honestly say that if I ever had a chance to meet Neil Peart, which I never did, he was the only one of my heroes that I have yet to, like, meet, and obviously I'm never going to. I would be able to tell him, like, dude, thank you, and that's why this song is on this list. So, Everyday Glory, fucking amazing. That's all I can say. That's not even getting into the music, but the melodies are incredible. But
Yeah, it's an incredible song, man.
He was pretty much the recluse member of the band, though, wasn't he? He really wouldn't
Yeah,
be too many
because
meet
the
and
other
greets and
two
stuff like
did the
that.
meet and greets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because at
I
the
know.
final show, when Neil surprised them, they came up and got in the
Yeah,
middle of them.
that was
They
pretty
were
cool.
surprised, you know.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Al, what's your number 4?
Back to the epics, man. And to me, this is their greatest instrumental, possibly the greatest instrumental of all time, in my opinion. I'm going La Villa Strangiato. I mean,
Hell yeah.
I mean, that is Alex Lifeson's tour de force right there, dude. Like, incredible. I'd love to hear him talk about that song, like, and break it down with, like, somebody in an interview, like, showing things, And I mean, that song is just fucking ridiculously, and that's all. You want to talk about a hard song to play, dude? That's like that's a bitch, man. That's like,
Well, did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear them talk about it on Beyond the Lighted Stage?
yes, and
So,
they,
like, the song was so hard that they had to break it up into 3 parts.
yeah, they couldn't do it in one take. They had to break it, you know. Um, yeah, it's incredible, dude. I mean, but the fact that they pull it off live, like, effortlessly is incredible. I mean, they must have to practice that shit, man. Well, they wrote it, so I don't know. But
And gotta love gotta love that Looney Tunes instrumental. Da, 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 da,
Yeah. And like Mike Portnoy said, he's like, every time some drummer would come up to him and go, well, I know how to play YYZ, and he goes, well, that's impressive, but can you play La Villa Strangiato?
yeah, yep. So that's my number 4 side too.
Yeah.
And it's probably the most ripping. It's probably got the most, like, ripping bass lick Getty's ever ripped off in a song. So
Yeah.
So, Travis, why I said Goody that you didn't pick By Tour and a Snow Dog, because I picked it for my number 3 on my side too. That song is just amazing. All the effects with the guitar and the fight between it's like an epic battle. You could imagine in your mind the bass and the lead fighting with the drums in the background. It's like, it seems like a battle the way they're playing that shit. I love By Tour and the Snow Dog, man. It's one of my favorite epics by them.
I'm amazing.
So, Jerry, you're number 4.
Number 4, I think it was you that mentioned this song, Mark, the only one. I can't think of a funny word for it, but it's off the Signals album. Subdivisions, man. What a great tune that is. I love that song. Cool song to learn to play on the keyboard. It's pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, Mark talked about it earlier. It's a cool fucking tune, dude. So you can relate to that if you were. Go ahead, sorry.
Be cool or be podcast out.
Yeah. I still think that's the coolest name of the podcast.
It is, man.
Thank you.
I knew me and Al would be friends after that.
like I said, I'll let you guys get back to your rush here. So
So that was your number 4, Jerry. Side 2.
I'm just an observer. I'm loving it, dude. So keep
right.
talking. Keep talking.
All right, we get to your what number?
Number 5, I think.
Number 5.
All right, so I'm going with the track that, in my opinion, would have been a great closer for Moving Pictures. I am the only epic on my album, The Camera Eye.
Great song.
Yeah.
Man, you know, if it wasn't for YYZ, that would be my favorite Rush song. Maybe it is my favorite Rush song. I don't know. And I like at the end of the song, like I didn't hear it when I first heard it, but then when I heard it again, you could hear Big Ben in the background.
Yeah.
That's so damn cool. I like how the song is basically like taking like a worldwide trip, you know, New York
Yeah.
City to London. It's just so cool. I love it. Great tune. You know what? Fuck it. It's my favorite Rush song now.
He just changed it. He's like, fuck it. It's my favorite Rush song. now."
Well, no, I mean when
It
you have a
is.
band, when you have a band like that, man, you can go back and forth easily with your favorite.
Oh
And
yeah.
and who belched in the middle of that song? You hear like a burp or something.
I don't know.
I don't
No,
know.
but I think
Like
I might. You too.
at the streets of the city, and then you hear like a, and you hear a little bit of talking or something like that. I maybe it's just me.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't recall. I have to certainly have to check that out because I don't recall.
So we get to your number 5.
My name is Chris.
Number 5, Chris. Sorry, I got distracted with the talking.
my name is Chris. In case you forgot.
No, I was still hearing Travis in my head for a second. Go ahead.
My name is Beard, Redbeard.
Yes.
Redbeard the pirate. All right.
Yes, Redbeard videos. So I've been usurped because Al took La Villa Strangiato, which would be my perfect second to last song. But I'm going to go with an even more epic song since I'm going to shift on you and go probably with the most epic Rush song, even though it's probably the weirdest Rush song, and that is the Fountain of Lamnenth.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, because what the fuck, right? I mean, it was either that or I don't my only criticism of
It's a beginning and an ending.
yeah, that song is like
There you go.
as Stephen Colbert said it, there was a point in your career where you were writing songs that were so long that you started influencing yourself. And this would be one of them. Yeah, I mean, this is a song though that honestly I've heard influence not more than 2112 obviously, but like Dream Theater just flat out ripped off parts of this song in Illumination Theory, which is on their self-titled album. So that in and of itself is clear enough to me, but to me this was like Fountain of Lamnenth and Necromancer, but more of this song are like the Hemispheres and 2112 dry runs. You know, it was like, we're gonna throw this against the wall and see what sticks, and they're like whoosh, and that's what it came up with. And it's just an amalgamation of just what the fuck in the best possible way. It's really kind of interesting to listen to them kind of toy around and see what they can come up with. So that's why that's here. Ultimately I would have picked La Villa Strangiato, just so you know, but Al already took it, so he can have it. I agree with him, probably the greatest instrumental of all time, but so there we go.
So Al, what's your number 5?
My number 5 could possibly be, if there's some days it could possibly be my favorite Rush song of all time, but that's impossible to pick anyway, because I love this band so much. But there's some days where I call this the greatest Rush song, the greatest epic. It takes you through a journey, and to me, it's got probably the greatest Rush ending, the way they end the song of all time, and that's Xanadu. Dude, I mean, I don't know, man. I think if I was gonna put a if
I
you
do know that. I do know that one. That's a great fucking song.
if you're gonna bury like a capsule, I mean, or if aliens came or whatever, and there's only one Rush song where you could sum up Rush in like kind of just one song, I think I would pick this song, dude. You know, I mean, it's got like everything in it. It's the slow building intro, you know, with I think it's like one of the greatest intros of all time too, and the greatest ending, and everything in between is fucking awesome. So I gotta go Xanadu, dude. It's just fucking incredible.
At the begin-
Amazing.
I mean, whenever they played this song live, I mean, I would just sit there in awe. Like, you know, the fog would come across the stage and just Alex, you know, doing the volume swells. And as the song builds up, dude, and it's just you just sit there and you can't help but, you know, just fucking take in this whole thing, you know, in front of you. And I mean that the R40 tour, they just did like epic after epic on that tour. And the way they started off like with the newest material and went back in time through, I mean, the way they did the stage show and they changed the stage show to mimic that period in their time. And I think that was just like one of the greatest stage presentations, maybe besides Pink Floyd The Wall. You know, I think that was like one of the greatest stage shows I've ever seen. So I'm going Xanadu. I love that song.
And it's a crazy to believe it was recorded in one take.
That was recorded in one take. Yes.
It's crazy. It feels impossible, but
in the beginning, like the beginnings of the internet, whenever Rush was planning a tour, I don't know if it was them who put it out or fans or whatever, but there would be voting for like, what Rush songs would you like to hear? And Xanadu was always number one. Always number one.
It was me and my friend Skip that came up with that website, rushpetition.com.
Really? That was you?
That was me and my friend
Skip. Dude. I remember that shit. I remember that shit. And Xanadu was always number one. Like I remember it. I thought it was weird. I loved the song. It's not a knock on the song. I just thought, oh well, it's got to be like
Camera Eye was up there too, man.
But Xanadu, I remember Xanadu was always number one. Always. I was like, wow, that's all right, cool.
Yeah, you can blame me for that. And actually, I'll go into a little story about that. So I came up with the idea. My friend Skip, I met him on, you know, before Rush had their own website and like message board and things like that. They had their own before they had their own official site. When Geddy Lee's album was out, he's really kind of the first one that had an official kind of website. And there was a Geddy Lee message board back then when everybody remembers message boards and stuff. You post a thread up and people could answer it and all that shit. Anyway, I posted this. I started this idea. I'm like, well, let's put up our top 5, you know, Rush songs that you want to hear in concert that you probably haven't heard in like 15, 20 years or whatever like that. I want to have like a rule, like, you know, I don't want people picking something that they played on the last tour. I want stuff that they didn't play in like 20 years or over, you know, or whatever. I think it might have been 15 years or something. And then a friend of mine was like, or not a friend of mine, but this guy, Skip, he got in touch with me like through private message. He's like, dude, I like your idea. You know, let's go in. I'll build a website and let's go in on it together. And I was like, yeah, because I wasn't technically savvy where I could build a website and shit. So I partnered up with him. He designed the website out of my idea, and the two of us were like partners in it. Turns out that Anthem Records caught wind of it, and the band was actually looking at it to get ideas for their set list for their Vapor Trail stuff.
Dude, that's super dope, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So Skip got in touch with Anthem Records, and it was cool because we were able to get this perk where like we could buy tickets like directly through them, and we'd be guaranteed in the first 10 rows.
Bro, that's fucking rad, dude.
You just pay the face value without the Ticketmaster fees, which was awesome. And then we got meet and greets to meet Geddy and Alex too. You know, so I was like, dude, this can't be even more perfect, man.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
It was that stupid idea I had that just kind of blossomed, and you know,
the internet,
we did it for all their tours up until the end, man. You know,
that's so cool, bro. That's really cool.
So
love that story. Oh, well, thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Then I'm gonna go to my number 4 on side 2. The Manhattan Project, man. Before Oppenheimer, this told you the story. about
of
the
my
atomic
favorites.
bomb. Like, and then with little side notes of what Neil was feeling about it. And so fucking great fucking song. I just like imagine a time when it all began, you know.
One of my favorite
Dying days of the war, you know.
one of my favorite Getty vocal moments is flying out of the shockwave on that August
on
day.
August day is
Yeah.
fucking great, man. Fucking love the Manhattan Project. So Jerry, what's your final track on side 2?
Final track. Charles, how you doing? This is off their Debut album.
But
Of course, you got to end it with "Working," man. Dude, come on, man. That is like perfect ending to any album. I mean, it was the last song Neil Peart performed with them, correct? Or last song they actually performed, correct?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
last song they all performed. Yeah,
All of them. That's what I meant. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's a killer tune. The guitar playing is just so fucking heavy and fucking killer. Black Sabbathy kind of way, you know what I mean? It's just a cool tune, man. And I picked that one too because I'm thinking of you, Charles. Love you, buddy.
yeah. I wanted to, you know what? Next week he's got to tell us his album for Rush. Because we need to know this, especially me. But Travis, so what's your track 6, man?
I decided to go to kind of ease me out of the album. I'm going with one of my favorite ballads of all time, "Tears" from 2112. That song just moves me like no other song. I love that song so
My
much.
mom loves
And
that song, man.
and when Neil Peart passed away, I just couldn't listen to it the whole way through for the first the year that he passed away. I couldn't listen to it halfway through. But I think it's just a beautiful song. Yeah. Love
Great
"Tears."
song.
Alice in Chains does a great cover of that.
Oh,
song.
Yes, they do. They
I
I love
do.
their version of it, man.
Yeah, really good cover of that song.
They
And
put
I
their
love the
harmony.
song.
They put their harmony stamp on that too. The Alice in
Yeah.
Chains.
Yeah.
Really good
They
stuff.
did that song justice, man. They made it their own, but like still paying tribute. It was fucking great. I love that cover, man. And I don't love a lot of Rush covers, man. But it's tough to cover Rush and make it sound sincere or good or whatever. But that's a great cover, man.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I think Benedictum did a good cover up with female singer. It's pretty good. Forgot
And
what
I
it
think
was.
I like Dream Theater's version of Xanadu.
Oh, that's a good version. Dream Theater could cover anybody though.
I just yeah.
Pink Floyd, Metallica, they could cover anybody. They're that great of a band. But so what's your ending of side 2, Chris?
So I think considering my list and what I've been focusing on, I think we can all see where this is going. But like, it's the ultimate closing song for everything in general. And they ended their career with this song on a studio front anyway. And it sums up everything that you ever need to know for life. Like really, it is like the ultimate closing song. And that's The Garden from Clockwork Angels.
Great.
It closes out their perfect album, and it closes out my album of closers. It's just during that Clockwork Angels show, I probably almost came to tears like 3 or 4 times. Like that was, and this song was definitely one of them. I was standing there. I showed you the picture with my then 13-year-old son. He's 22 years old now. And it was just one of those things where I'm like standing next to him and I'm like, the nurture and protect, like the whole thing. And it's just like, and I hate to say it because a lot of people will speculate and say like, well, they never said that R40 was their last tour. I honestly thought Clockwork Angels was their last tour. I didn't think there was any more. After I heard that song, I knew they definitely weren't writing any more music. Like I just knew you can't listen to that album and get to that song and go, yeah, no, they're going to do way more. Like I just had that feeling inside of me. And I remember having talks with my friends who were also Rush fans. I'm like, dude, they're done. Like they're done. They may do one more tour after this, but they're done. Like there's no more albums coming after this. And turns out I was right because this song is the ultimate closer. You don't come back from this.
So you don't think they got anything in the vault?
No, they might have stuff in the vault because I think Getty and Alex are always writing. But
No, I'm talking about with Neil. With Neil.
no, I don't think so. No,
No,
nope,
They
I
were
don't
never
think so.
that kind of band. There was whatever they put out, and that was
they
it.
didn't waste anything,
I mean,
man.
they may have stuff in the vault that never got released, but I don't think I don't think it was new stuff. I don't think they were like. I don't think they like. I don't think they had an idea that they were going to move forward and record another album. They got because this was kind of their pattern. They did Vapor Trails, and then they did was it Time Machine after Vapor Trails, and then they did Snakes and Arrows, and then they did R30, and then Feedback, which was R30, and then they did Clockwork Angels, and then they did R40. So conventional wisdom would be after R40, they would get together and possibly make a new album. But by that time, it was obvious that it was over. So that was it.
Yeah. So what's your
What's your awesome song? My last song on my album is going to be Natural Science. The reason why I picked that one is not only because it's such a great song. I mean, if I had to pick a favorite Rush album, it's Permanent Waves. And I love the way when the song ends, you kind of hear the crashing of the waves kind of fade out in the distance. I think like to me that's like perfect, like to kind of close the album, like the tide and everything. Like if you're sitting on a beach, man, you hear those waves crashing, and you just hear it kind of fade out, and that's to me that's the way that my album wants to fade out. So yeah, Natural Science. I mean, you guys. I think Chris touched on that one. It was one of his closers, obviously, and we talked about like how hard it was for them to play it and all that shit. So I mean, it was an eargasm on that on the Pet Echo tour. Definitely, when they played that, I was like, I thought I'd never hear them play that, and I was like jumping for joy. And that's the way I want to close out my album. So that's Natural Science from Permanent Waves. My last song.
Look up the Devin Townsend version if you get a chance. It's
yeah, I
really
never heard
good.
that one, man. I have to check it out.
There was an album.
That's on the Working Man.
Yeah, it's on the Working Man album.
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
It's really good. Like he sings the shit out of it. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I know like Billy Sheehan was on that album.
Yeah,
Mike
Portnoy,
and everybody. Steve Morse.
Yep.
That was actually a pretty good tribute album.
Yeah, until they got sued.
They got into some litigation with that. That's why there's no Rush on there. It's just called Working Man.
But I mean, like Sebastian Bach sang Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was pretty good.
So then I get to my final track on my side too, and I'm not going to change because I need this on my album, and I think it's a perfect ender. La Villa Strangiato. I love this. Strangiato, whatever. I can't say it. Right. I love this fucking song, man.
The Strange Village.
It's like, come on. Like you said, Alex Lifeson's best material on this song. Fucking great, man. And then
he's awesome.
Then I'll get to
and that song is from Hemorrhoids, right?
Yeah, right.
Hemorrhoids.
Jerry.
Wow, we almost completed that album. There was only one song that we didn't pick on that album. So there you go. Somebody picked The Trees. 3 people picked La Villa. Al picked Hemispheres. So Circumstances is the only one that didn't make it.
Well, I picked that on my extra ones that I was going to get next. I picked 6 extras. My bonus album, Circumstances, Stick It Out, Roll the Bones, Lakeside Park, In the Mood, and Time Stands Still. So what are your extras, Jerry?
I got New World Man off Signals, and I do have kind of a deep track here. Best I Can off Fly By Night.
Nice. That's a great one.
Distant Early Warning from Grace Under Pressure.
Fucking love that
Jacob's
song.
Ladder, which somebody just mentioned a second ago, of Permanent Waves, and Free Will of Permanent Waves.
Free Will.
What about you, Travis?
All right, I got What You're Doing from the first Rush album. I got, I'm going to say with Jerry, Best I Can from Fly By Night. I'm going to go with, I think I'm going Bald just for the novelty track.
Nice.
And from 2112, I mean, damn, I could pick anything from that except Lessons. I'm not a fan of that song. But A Passage to Bangkok, I love that tune.
Gotta go with the live version. Yeah.
Oh,
Exit
they're
stage
both
left.
great. And then I'm gonna skip Farewell to Kings. I mean, I love Farewell to Kings, but I'm gonna go with Circumstances also.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Cool.
So Chris.
Let me see my extras. BU2B has got to be one of the heaviest
good
fucking
one.
songs ever. Oh my god.
Nice.
And also
Awesome.
and also Caravan from that album is wonderful. And then sticking with Clockwork Angels, also the Wreckers is some of the best melodies ever. That whole freaking album is an extra to me.
It's my
I mean,
favorite.
that whole album is incredible. Going through we were talked a lot about Presto, but nobody mentioned Red Tide, which is a song that I absolutely adore from that album. And lyrically it's incredible. I love it's got a between the wheels type of melody to it, and I really enjoy that. And what was the other one? Oh, Heresy and Bravado from Roll
Great
the Bones
ones.
are two songs that I absolutely love.
So
There's some good ones, man.
Al, what are yours?
I picked 5 bonus tracks. So my number one's gonna be Kid Gloves from Grace Under Pressure. I think that's one of Alex's most chaotic solos, but it's an awesome solo. He just shreds on that. I mean, he gives the whammy bar a fucking workout on that solo. And I love the end. I love the end, the way the song ends too. You know, it's one of the best Rush endings as well.
What another what a weird outlier on that album though. Like when you think
Kid
about
Gloves.
it. Yeah, that one doesn't make sense.
The Pass. I love that song. I had to include it on this album one way or another. You know, when you look at my regular track list, and I really kind of stayed in like the 70s and like early 80s. That's like kind of this sweet spot of like when I really discovered Rush and got into them. But I had to give the 80s and beyond some love too. I love all that stuff too. It just wasn't fitting on my album. So The Pass is a song that's one of my favorite songs by them. I mean, there was a point in my life when I was like kind of down and out, and that song really like spoke to me and kind of saved me and stuff. So
Me too, dude. That's why I love it.
yeah. Mission. I got to give Mission some love. To me, that's one of I love Alex's solo on that too. It's one of those real soaring, emotional solos. Like every time I hear that, I get goosebumps, you know, with that solo.
Lyrics are amazing too.
And Neil Peart on that song. Holy shit, that middle section is
yeah. With the I think with the marimba and stuff like that, kind of the marimba solo. I think that's what you call it. Anyway, number 4 is Losing It off of Signals. I love that song, dude. And to me, that's like the song after that. You'll see why I picked it. These songs are kind of to me kind of tell a story a little bit, you know. But Losing It, you know, when I was young and I listened to Signals, that used to be the song I kind of skipped because I was young and I just wanted to hear like the rock and stuff. But as I've gotten older, like the lyrics really speak to you as you grow older. And you know, I think Losing It's one of their most underrated songs. And when they played that on the last tour, was like I got to see it at the Madison Square Garden show and a Newark, New Jersey show, because they didn't play it at like a lot of shows, but they had Jonathan Dinklage come out and play like the violin on that song. So it was really cool to hear that live. And then I got to end it with The Garden. I mean, it's what a perfect song to end their career. Like Chris was saying, where do you go beyond that? You can't, you know. To me, that's when you look at a band's catalog, that's got to be one of the greatest endings to a story of a band's catalog. That album and that song, you know what I mean? So I can't think of a band that capped up their career better than that, man. Really. So The Garden is my last one.
Yeah,
they literally called their own
Garden.
shot. They called their own shot, man.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
The Garden was awesome, but I knew at least Chris would pick it. Thought you would pick it too, Al.
Yeah. It's an incredible song.
It's a great song, yeah.
As we grow older, I mean, lyrically, as you know, all of us are, you know, Travis is still a little on the young side. He's got a lot of years ahead of him. But you know, we're all of us. Well, I don't know how old you are, Chris. I think you're in your 40s, right? Yeah. So me and Mark and Jerry, we're in our 50s already. So now it's when you really start thinking about, you know, we're getting older and things like that. At least I do. I mean, I still think age is still a number. I don't. But you know, you start thinking about things like that. You know what I mean? And the lyrics in the garden, like it makes you think. You know, we're just a little blip on this thing called time, dude. I mean, we're only here. I mean, we're just like a little speck of sand on a beach. You know what I mean? Our time is very limited. You know, and you got to make the best of it. And that song makes you think. I think lyrics are incredible. So, yeah, that's my last one.
Yeah, it's
The
a great
future
one.
disappears in memory with only a moment between. Forever
that's why-
dwells in that moment. Hope is what remains to be seen.
Yeah,
I
and that's
mean,
kind of why I put losing it like kind of before that. To me, like I think of those two songs almost kind of similar in a way, you know, because Neil talks about, you know, growing older and losing it, and like people start losing their abilities and things like that. I think it kind of like, you know, kind of a little similar, not completely similar, but in a way kind of goes together. So anyway, that's me. That's it.
All right, man. So that was our 11 track Rush album. We made our own Rush album, plus we gave you bonus tracks there, man.
Yeah.
Jerry, man, any last thoughts, man?
You guys know anything about cars?
Who?
Cars?
You guys know anything about cars?
like
Not
the
really.
band?
No, cars. You drive.
No.
No.
I could do an oil change.
A little bit, you know why?
Well, I know shit about cars. Tonight, I felt like I opened up the fucking hood, looked at it, and I'm like, damn, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. But you guys know your shit about Rush, man. I'm telling you, it was impressive. I'm impressed, dude, man. You guys came to fucking bat tonight, dude, and it was cool listening to you. So, anyway, let's pimp your guys' stuff. We'll start with you, Al, man. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm down here in Florida. I'm, visiting my wife. Today's actually her birthday, so happy birthday, Tina.
Happy birthday.
And I'm here until Monday. Then I got to go back to New Jersey again. And my parents, I'm still helping them out with their house and stuff. They sold their house, so I think the closing is going to be sometime in September. Then in September, I'm going to be down here permanently in Florida, and that's going to be it. And so really, I'm not really doing much on my channel right now. I'm not even, any concerts. I'm not seeing anything down here. So, but when I go back, I'm sure I'll resume on a few shows. I'm missing Metallica at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey this weekend. A friend of mine actually had a ticket for me, but I'm down here, so I can't go. So anyway, it'd be cool to be podcast out. It's my YouTube channel, my Facebook group. Check it out. Got a lot of stuff.
It's always great to have you on, brother, man.
Thank you, man. And I appreciate you guys.
Travis, man, what you got going on?
Nothing.
He's like the superstar guest host now.
Maybe I'll start my own podcast one day. We'll see.
You'd be good at it, man. You should give it a shot, dude.
All right. And Rush Rules.
All right, go ahead, man. Chris, man, let's hear it. What you got going on?
Redbeard videos on YouTube, Redbeard videos on Whatnot. If you want to shop for cassette tapes, CDs, vinyl, I sell all of it. The YouTube channel is on hiatus until September. There is 100 videos on there to watch though, so there's plenty to keep you busy if you're interested. Anything ranging from top 5 hair metal albums from 1992 that got smashed with a shovel by Nirvana to a thorough breakdown of my Kiss fandom and my Queen fandom, and I'm in the middle of doing my Dream Theater fandom. And then coming up in the future, there'll be a live stream I think I'm landing on Monday will be my live stream days. And I'm doing other types of shows too, like breaking down albums. There'll be a podcast where I'm doing interviews with artists and whatnot. So all that's coming up. Hopefully by mid-September, I'll be relaunching that. So off in August for new content, but there's a lot of existing content. So please check that out. I'm on TikTok, Redbeard Videos, Whatnot, Redbeard Videos, and YouTube, Redbeard Videos. And Jerry and Mark, thank you so much for having me. Al, you're awesome again. Travis, a pleasure meeting you. Good watching the camel toe over your shoulder. Nothing like staring at Alex's camel toe the whole time. That was fantastic.
He's kind of blocking it with his shoulder now. You can see.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm
it's
getting-
like my it's like my parrot on the,
And
on the
now,
side
now
of my,
I'm close.
on my
I'm
shoulder.
close to getting Getty's bulge, which, as we discovered earlier, I really enjoy. So
Oh,
you know.
God.
All
But
right,
anyway,
Chris,
thank you guys so much. Always a good time, and please have me back. I hope to be back.
Chris,
Yeah.
man, I just want to say, dude, it's always a fucking pleasure to hear your knowledge, dude. Thank you for sharing it. I appreciate you a lot. Mark, man, take us out, brother.
I'm just gonna say, hit those thumbs up when you see these videos, and share and share and share. Share like you just don't care. You know, all right.
Like
Well,
these
care a little bit.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, man, we're funny. I'm
Smash
drunk.
smash that shit.
I'm drunk. I'm stoned. Let's
I mean, I
fucking
don't know how
party,
funny.
man.
I don't know how funny they are, but
You-
you know.
You've taken the passage to Bangkok,
Well,
Mark.
we get the good guests so they could do the humor for us. So there you go. But
Indeed.
you guys,
Indeed.
thank you guys for coming on, man. Talk to you guys later. Later, guys.
Later.
Rush rules.
Later, man.